Anybody got some?
Any questions on the operational side for the delivery crew and the warehouse crew?
So you guys can see, there we go. Okay. You guys can see how big of an operation this is, and it is kind of awe-striking when you walk into it. So while we kind of stall to wait for some people to get here before we start, we wanted to do a little Q&A with these guys so you guys can, all right, let's go. We're ready to roll.
What are some pain points that y'all see now from going from a smaller company to where you are now? What are those differences that you see? Like obviously you're going to have more volume, but what is the difference, the substantial difference?
Maintaining organization.
So how do y'all do, what do y'all do to mitigate that?
Keep everybody on the same page, communicate with each other. We have designated areas where we put things like, sometimes you get a unit that's too big, won't put that on the shelf, where it's supposed to go and somebody's, supposed to go look for it or something. So we just communicate where we put it, usually where you can just set it right here, is usually where we'll line them up or something. So I would say, organization, knowing where things are, knowing what people are supposed to be doing is the challenge.
How do y'all know where things go? Do y'all have a software y'all use, or is it a whiteboard, or?
No, we just use lettering and stuff. So we have like kind of like when you go to Walmart, you're stocking out at Walmart, and you stock the shelf. It's kind of like how we use it. This is B right here, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, spacing on the shelf.
Yeah, basically with the lettering and everything, we have everything kind of printed out. Like James was sitting over here today, our bounce house are up there in front of y'all, that goes combos, everything. I said, like you said, it's all printed and done by the number, by the letters.
As far as like driver and delivery crew, we also do talking about like, are you doing same crew delivering, picking up that anything? How long are you running the crew over weekend? And stuff like that. So you have an AM crew and a PM crew.
Actually, we have guys that come in. Usually it depends on how the routes are when it comes to pickups, because sometimes the guy that drops off may be on like outside the stage time to pick up, or somebody else will come by and swing by and get that. But usually our guys just like to break in between like AM and PM shift and that, and that's just how we work it.
So typical driver and crew working 12 hours Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah, usually anywhere between like 12 hours. It's like I said, they have like a 4 to a 6 hour break, like in between, drop offs to pickups, where we have our break room, if they want to hang out. If they don't want to go home, just like do whatever.
And everybody, they're using their own truck, your trailer, or they're using your
It's actually our trucks and our trailers, unless we're using like a contract driver, which they will use our trailer and they will use their own truck. Okay. Any other questions? All right, ma'am.
Could you just walk us through your process of, you guys have a lot of stuff loaded up on the floor, and delivered, or how many weeks, or how many delivery team do it, like what's your process from loading?
From start to finish. Okay, from start to finish, we get it from our IO. It takes all the orders and everything. Then Mike does the routing. Then it comes out here to the floor. Me and Dylan. We start loading up the trailers. Once the trailers are loaded, we check them. Then we park them outside and line them up. The guys in the morning, so we get the paperwork in there. They come up here. They'll crank up. They'll go out. They'll do deliveries. They'll come back. And then at the end of the night, me or Dylan, we'll be the ones that will be doing the turn, and we will be basically unloading and reloading for the next day.
So you kind of have to guys stay in the warehouse, or something that's not.
Yes. That's the big key though, is you have to pay attention to detail, because sometimes you can miss something small and it can cause like a big problem, but usually we have, like one of us is here in the morning, so if there is an emergency, we can run it out there and fix it right real quick and hurry. Yes.
You have the drivers, who load truck equipment, do they have responsibility to like check their, make sure everything?
Yes, sir. That is one of their main responsibilities, that they check their loads and everything before they leave. They go through the paperwork, check it off, they're good to roll after that.
Do you have a night crew that lives the trailer at night, so they're ready to grab it early in the morning?
Yes. That would also be the burn team that does that too when they come in at night. Any other questions? Well, it kind of depends on how busy the weekend we have. Well, sometimes I think the most I've ever got on a trailer in one night is a 20-footer. I got like 11 units, but it was like for one big event. So, I mean, we kind of like stacked that one like 3 deep. We stood up whatever we could. Yes.
What do you guys do when you set up all your trailers and you got a bunch of racks in the order, different areas? Do you just set up one truck with all the orders, or do you kind of
If there's any changes in any of the orders, we try to rush and like fix that on the trailer before it goes out. But if it's too needed, we'll take it another route. Yes, ma'am.
How do you guys handle cleaning typically when you're also on site before you go up, or cleaning here, or cleaning?
Usually we clean during the week. We have the clean crews. I mean, they run, pretty much 10 hours a day cleaning. We'll set up in here, outside. I mean, it's pretty much all that. I mean, as needed, because sometimes, in the heat of the moment and everything, it'll be like bouncing some units from one job to the next job, and we might be cleaning in the middle of a turn one night. I mean, it's whatever you got to do to get the job done, basically. Huh? Any other questions? Anybody?
You got one?
Yeah.
I stayed up and strap all my trailers. I noticed you guys lay them down. And others in the industry that I'm standing them up, strapping versus laying them down, trailing, or leaving them at the end.
I try to think of, just in case it was like the rain overnight, because then you got like a big open area for the water to seep down into it. I reckon it's just more with preference, really. I mean, I've stood them straight up, when I've got like a big load going on. I mean,
Full trailer,
yeah.
uh,
I mean, like I said, it's just preference on that one, really. Any other questions? I think it'll be a mod question. That's a little bit above my pay grade on that one.
Brandon Britt. Anyone else have questions for our delivery guys?
What company is that? Brandon Brett.
That's through Tony, the insurance guy, down in Florida. Anyone else have any questions? Yeah, I know a lot of you guys walked around yesterday, but we're gonna do another quick tour. Stop me anytime if you got any questions about what you see, how we do stuff, how we set stuff up on the shelves. Feel free, raise your hand, just stop me as we go. So if you'd all like to join.
charge the dollars to bring them in, it's gonna go in the morning. The load team will load your trailer, the driver's responsibility is to load your dolly in the morning, check your paperwork, make sure you have everything you need to go. Generators, we use primarily the Westinghouse generators, they're all push to start. They're great, they're reliable. We change the oil on all of them every 3 weeks. We don't want any issues when we're out in the field. If you're at a big school event, a church event, you don't need generators going down. If you know anything about Atlanta, Atlanta is an hour away from Atlanta. So if you have an issue on one side of the town, it might take you forever to get there. We need all our equipment working well the first time we show up. On this wall, all stuff we acquired this last week. I don't know if you've heard yet or not, but we bought out our biggest competitor, Jumptastic. So this is all the stuff that's going right now. Eventually, it'll be organized as you see here, but we just did it off the ground this week. When we load our trailers, the load team back to the trailer right here. The guys pick the units off the shelf, drive the forklift right up next to the trailer, and push it in. We get asked all the time, why do you guys use open trailers versus box trucks versus enclosed trailers? That's why. On any given weekend, we have around 25 trucks on the road. They need to be able to turn very quickly. So drive up, push. Each trailer should only take about 10 minutes to load. Otherwise, you guys are going to be here all night. We don't want it. Extension cord in shell pins, which slide under the shelf over here. How do you put back in? The load team knows how many units come off of each trailer, and the guys follow. It's given to them right on the piece of paper. They just got to follow the route. Yep. It's super. We try to dumb everything down as fast as possible. Try to make everything as simple as possible. We don't have to make it all over. No QR codes. Just memorization on where stuff is. We have letters on the ground, like A's for all the games right here. So when guys start, Dylan, our warehouse manager, will say, hey, I need you to start the game off an A. So it's super, once you get used to it, as you said.
Is it a naming convention that everybody, you get a define what flavor or specific naming convention that tells you which map?
Nope, wherever we got room.
I'm just curious how you're
Check, check. Check.
Where the tables are now, a lot of them will sit. Monday through Thursday, guys, all those
Test.
This row right here is all about forecast. Being as hot as it is in Georgia, it goes really cold out in the spring and the fall. Primarily in the summer, everything's wet. Someone wants to give it a standard bounce out in the summer when it's 90 degrees out. 7 people are lower by size. Ones, got 2 A's and 1 5, so that's our most popular to use. And then 2s. And then all our cords get tossed back in the bins. Drivers are supposed to wrap them a certain way so the load crew can just grab and throw them in the truck. Every time they don't come back the right way, then they get tangled like this. We try to train all our drivers to wrap them up like this, so it's quick and easy, throw them in the truck and move on.
Mostly 50 feet, or like, how do you know if you
Check, check.
Too big of an operation to
Test.
cords. We buy cords by the hundreds and we store them. Midsummer, we'll lose half. Either between customers taking them or guys forgetting them. It's just for $30, that's just something that we have to also do.
It's 50. All 50.
No, we do 50 and 100. Fix. All right, so we start all the combos down this row here. On that back wall there is where we keep all our supplies. So in each individual bag, you'll get 50 servings of either cotton candy supplies, or snow cone supplies, or popcorn. So the load team grabs those plastic bags that have all the supplies in it, and then in those cabinets are where you find all the flavors.
Mike. Because this one has a truck.
When the office girls have nothing to do, they just make some bags. Yeah, so it's super simple. The load team just grabs the bags, sets it inside the cab for the drivers.
So for your cotton candy cones, that's what she does. She makes the package.
Yeah, she'll put 50 in a bag, and instructions as well on how to use the cotton candy machine. That's one of the most annoying calls we get on a Saturday at 3 o'clock is, hey, how do I use this cotton candy machine? On our YouTube channel, there's also videos on how to start our generators, how to use all our concessions, how to turn on a blower if something happens. So we send them that link if anything happens, and super simple, make it as dumb as possible for the customer. We tell the customers, don't touch anything until, let us do it. Even if your party's over, you don't have to worry about complaining, we'll let us do it. Just makes life a whole lot easier. So down here, a whole other row of combos. On the back wall, we got our bowl mats, a couple concession stands, and a few holiday units. This is on the left side is where we start our obstacle courses. This side is another row of combos. That's pretty much all our table and chair collection. I get asked a lot if we do tables and chairs. The answer is we don't want to. They take up room in the trucks that we just need. It's more valuable for our equation. So we try to avoid doing tables and chairs at all costs. We don't do tents as well. We sub all that out. Large table and chair orders, we also sub that out to the tent contract. Over here, we got a couple of our games. I got asked yesterday, do we like the Hungry Hippos? Yes. We have 6 of them. 7. We have 7 now. Inventory changes daily around here. It really does. Stuff gets sold, new stuff comes in. It's just a game to play. So here's where we start our water slides. Try to organize it by size, starting with 12 foot, 15. A lot of the 2-piece bigger stuff's on the back wall. These are going to be some 18s, 50 mules, all the way up to 20s. Whole nother rack of 15s. More 15s. No, we set them up. We set them up. We moved into this facility in May, and we had all this up. It was 2 days, 24-hour shifts. Yes, it took. It was miserable. No, we hired a crew to install the racks, but we moved all the inflatables ourselves. Yes, it was the middle of May, peak season. It was a nightmare. But it was 2 days straight.
How big are they, the racks you said?
These are 8-foot beams, correct?
Yeah.
You got 16, 8, and maybe 12.
So 16 by 8?
Yeah, these are 12 to be on this side.
It's all hand in the bag. Yeah. Where do we get our? What's the name of this company? Vertical in Georgia, Vertical Atlanta. It's on. It's if you look on. There's a sticker on some of these somewhere. Think Vertical. Think Vertical. They're a local company, but Uline, if you're out of state, also delivers racks. And here's where we keep our large units. The Millennium Falcon from Manjunk, if you ever seen that, that's what that one looks like down there. The Slingshot from I2K, there's only 3 of those in the country, and we're lucky enough to have one. It's horrible. Big Jaws from Cutting Edge, a bunch of Ninja Walls from I2K. So this is where we keep all the big stuff that no one likes to take out. Over here, here's a bunch of inflatables from the acquisition.
Yeah, exactly.
When they go up to 3,000 top.
Not even caring at that point.
The thing that sets us apart from our competition is we keep all of our rides inside. You don't want to go to school or church and you need a tetanus shot to ride the rides. So we keep everything indoors. We want it to look as good as possible. Last year we refinished this rock wall. This year we refinished the wrecking wall here. So it's an ongoing process to keep our stuff looking as great as possible. We really pride ourselves in making sure we got the cleanest and nicest looking product for our customers.
What is something like a rock wall?
1,200 and 1,400 for the climb wall. The climb wall lights up at night.
This one's 1,700 and that one's 1,200.
Is that for a set time period?
2 hours. Well, it's fluid. If it's a big event, it's 4 hours. You just go with 4 hours.
Does that include your staff?
Yeah.
How many staff?
2.
2 per wall, yeah. And then this is the adrenalator.
Watch this hit.
Doesn't that?
Exactly. One day.
It was my 3-year plan.
Your 3 years. 3 month plan.
Got an arm. Customer's like, I don't know where it is either. We have extras. We have plenty of extras. We keep them all. Anytime we buy anything, tell the manufacturer send us a few extras.
So you do no trailer mounted ones, so they're all.
No. We can't send a whole truck
Right,
just for a
because
dump
they
tank.
take
Yep, that's why we're trying to get away from foam parties as well. Sending out a truck for just one foam party is just not, doesn't make any sense. When I can put 12 inflatables on a trailer and send that out, it can make a lot more sense. So the wrecking ball from ADM, we finished that this year as well. Ballistic from ADM, Pirates from ADM, obviously we love ADM. And the zip line in the back, the red one, that is from Spectrum, as well as our 2 rock walls. So great thing about Spectrum is they send a van across the country all year long. They'll be in your area twice a year. So they come, service everything once a year, put new cables on it, check all the hydraulics, check the belays. Anything that you need, Spectrum is fantastic about their customer service as well.
Do they go out?
All of them. Randy's our ride manager.
Yep.
So yeah, you go out every time.
And I take good pride and make sure we're green, everything's properly done. I don't care, I'm autistic when it comes to the level, because once these things get set up, they get moving, they'll start rocking. I don't mind if we're in the middle of a event, if it's just a little bit off bubble and rocking a little bit, I will shut everything down for about a quick 5 minutes to reblock it and everything. Because safety is my big key when it comes to these.
Any questions about rides, anything else?
So you don't leave them, right? Like you,
No, we operate all the rides.
Yeah.
But you take them day of. You don't like take anything the day before.
Depends on the size of the event. Sometimes some of our large customers have a staff day prior, if our schedule allows for it.
You'll ever work with smaller companies to work doing events that might make it all to do?
Absolutely. Yes, we're always working with them.
Training and learning how to operate these companies. Never they come with certain type of training or
ADM has YouTube videos on every single item that they take. YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos. Yep. Yeah, their manuals are about 30 pages long. Yeah, each step by step. But they're great. They got YouTube videos. How are you? The state of Georgia is a pain to work with. The fire marshal has to inspect them once a year. Good luck trying to get them on the phone. It takes weeks for them to finally come out and do it. But yeah, state of Georgia has that. I know North Carolina is per year, yes. But if the fire marshal's at the events, they'll come check it out. North Carolina has ride inspections, Texas does, Ohio. So a lot of states, it's different between every state. Yeah, you got to follow their rules. Yep. Yeah, that's a great question for Kevin, IOA. That's what he's here for, to teach about safety, inspecting, stuff like that. All right, any more questions about warehouse, anything like that, before we head into the office area?
Thank you. That'll teach you. That'll teach you.
They don't produce, they produce for not anybody else like specific to our industry, but some of like the inflatables that you see like in the, I don't even know what they're called. The water parks, like the, you guys know what I'm talking about the ones, yeah, like the ones that are set up on, like, in the water on the beach, that kind of stuff. They do produce for some of those. Can you go back to that? I'm sorry. Customer feedback. Leisure listens to operator suggestions on safety or performance and drive continuous improvement. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but Leisure used to use that non-slip vinyl like on the entrances to the condos, and it was almost like textured, and the dirt would just like embed into it. You could just never get it out. And I'm like, guys, why are you guys doing this? And they're like, because it's safer. And I'm like, it's horrible. Like, it looks permanently dirty. And they're like, really? Because it costs us more. And I'm like, get rid of that. Like that, I see the appeal to it, but like on the appearance side, it just looks dingy after a while. A few years ago, they had an issue with their 35-foot slides. Anytime anybody would, almost any weight would go down, they'd go over the end. So a group of us got together and like, guys, this anymore. This is crazy. They immediately added 5 additional feet. They're very receptive to constructive criticism, and I stress the word constructive. There's a right way to approach things and a wrong way to approach things. Operators send me messages every day that they've sent Julio or Matt or something about an issue with their inflatable, and I'm like, I would fire them as a customer if that's the way they came at me. So again, constructive criticism or concerns is definitely the way to go. You shouldn't try to bash a manufacturer or a company or a vendor. In any, you want somebody to do that to you. You know, if they're not listening, there's other avenues of getting things addressed instead of looking like an internet bully. So again, in-house design team, seamless communication. Elena, she's the incredible woman behind the scenes. She is fluent in both English and Chinese and brings the gap with the factory to the States. And then something else that I don't know, most people probably don't know, is they have a custom design program. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but we're gonna go for it. Basically what it is they will custom design almost any inflatable that they think is, you know, achievable. And they'll charge you a small fee. Usually that fee is about $250. If they like the idea or they like the prototype that they built, they'll offer you an incentive to help promote it, to tell your friends about it, to go post in a group about it. And if they sell, like you don't really have to post about it, they'll put it in their catalog. But they always leave it up to you. Is this something that we can resell?
And if you say yes, I've been talking too long.
Just hit
Oh, okay, my bad. If you sell 10 of them, then they give you basically a unit of that same value for free. So if you have this wild, I have all these ideas, you guys have no idea. If you have this wild idea and they bring it to life and you get it and you love it and you post about it and everybody says, where did you get that? And 10 people buy it, you now get a free unit. It's not necessary.
No, I don't think that's
I'll just stand right here.
Just hold it for her.
Okay, I know, right? Hold it for me. I'm gonna hold it at the bottom. So that is something that, I don't know if any other manufacturers do that, to be honest with you. And a lot of them don't like our feedback on what we want to see. So I do love
Yeah, I'm gonna just try to talk loud for right now. So I do love leisure for that reason, and I encourage you guys, we have all these ideas, right? We know what people like, we know what we like, we know what resonates. So take this to them and kind of get into, like, it's almost like buying into your business more. Like we have a under the sea combo and people talk about, oh my gosh, that's so pretty, that's so cool, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I and they're like, shut up, you can design your own inflatables. So something to think about. I know, like we've all talked before, I know that people have ideas or they want to see specific things to, somebody did like a flamingo, just like weird things that you feel like might fit the vibe, where you're at, or a representation of your business even. So I would encourage you guys to look into that. And then final concerns. So I am probably too transparent at sometimes, and I really like to show the good and bad. Probably, Stephen and Kevin, you guys probably can help me with this. Probably 2 years into COVID, Leisure started having major mold issues with their vinyl. Would you say that is about 2 years? Like, it wasn't all of it, but it was a fair amount. The pink color was fading, green was molding quickly, like nothing we'd ever seen. And they were getting beat up. They didn't know what the problem was. We kind of thought that we knew what the problem was. Everybody was cutting corners, everything was skyrocketing in price. And we could only think that the factory was cutting costs by not adding the correct additives to the batches of vinyl. So they were using like too little UV protection and stuff like that. And so that's what was causing all this fade. Leisure got beat up, I mean bad, on the internet. And again, that's why I stress, like, this is people's livelihood. They employ US employees, they employ hundreds of people in China. And they knew there was an issue, but they only work so fast. The vinyl manufacturers are supplying vinyl to tons of businesses. So nobody was giving them the opportunity. First it was like a couple one-off, and then it was 10 people, and then it was 20, and it probably didn't get to be more than like 50 people affected, but it really took a hit to their reputation for a while. So again, nobody's perfect. I love Leisure, I buy from them. I've had no issues with them in I would say probably the last 2 years. Have you guys bought anything recently? A lot of people just wrote them off. Justin?
I love Leisure.
Okay.
That's probably the number one. I probably have 30 or 40 Leisure units.
They are a million times better, but I do think it's important to acknowledge, and I can tell you things that have affected every manufacturer in this industry. Nobody's perfect, you're not perfect, you have an issue, you have a seam rip, you have something disastrous happen, at a party or at an event or a rental, and it's just kind of the way that you deal with it. Kevin, go ahead.
So regarding that custom design, so if they design something for you and you advertise the unit, they sell 10 of it, then they'll reimburse?
They'll reimburse you, or you can just, get another unit. Like,
So
not necessarily the same unit, but.
So we had them create a nice Jurassic unit, #1 renter. I'll send pictures.
There you go. Now he's like, all right, guys, we're gonna get 10 people out of the show. Okay, I would love to see pictures. And I think that the ARA show special is still going on. So if you like the unit that Kevin designed, I think it's 10% off right now. Not 100% sure, but I think I did see that. Jack?
Is there a manufacturer that actually does the work in the U.S.?
Is there a manufacturer that does the work here in the U.S.? So that's a trick question. The only manufacturer that I have any experience with that I know for sure without a doubt builds 100% in the United States is Unique Jumpers, and the owner's name is Boris. He is like a 5-man show, takes a little bit longer, incredible units, heavy as all get out, but they will literally last like forever. We always laugh at like built like tanks, crazy. And he's a super nice guy, but a little on the slow side. Bouncing Angels, Easy can both build here. They have tables and that kind of thing. So a lot of times, prototypes units, custom units, that kind of stuff are built here in the US. But the majority of all manufacturers are bringing in things from China, Mexico, Cambodia, a variety of different places. Any questions about that?
How do you get here?
I don't think, well, it's kind of weird. I don't think that we'll see too many increases. We had such a significant increase during COVID that a lot of the companies didn't fall back from that and kind of, like when things started to go down, they still kept their prices the same. I don't know that the industry could support much more of an increase, and I think that most of the manufacturers know that. Let's see here. Okay, so why do I choose to use HEC Inflatables? With 30 years of industry experience, HEC Inflatables is a true pioneer in the inflatable manufacturing industry. Innovative excellence, HEC isn't just another manufacturer. They paved the way for modern inflatables. The owner, Kevin Cook, holds patents for game-changing technologies, including seamless slides and bridge welds, ensuring stronger, safer, and longer-lasting inflatables. So this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, the manufacturing side. What I think a lot of people fail to realize is that, and it's kind of like in the rental industry as well. So I'm going to use Kevin as an example. He is a personal friend of mine and a professional friend. But again, he's a pioneer. A lot of these lifers or long-timers in the industry have really paved the way for, I'm going to call him out, but he's not here, manufacturers like Matt at Big and Bright. These guys have spent like the whole entire life, you know, oh, there he is. Just
I agree with what she's saying.
Making all the mistakes, right? Like I tell people all the time, I have made enough mistakes and wasted enough money for all of us. So now, Big and Bright, Bounce Wave, Sun Fun, Emily, all of those people have it easier, right? Like a lot of the newbies have it easier because there's all this information out there for free. They're getting all this feedback from all these different people, and that didn't used to exist. So HEC, Leisure, Jump Orange, Ray was involved in manufacturing before the inflatables. Everybody has like this really long journey of pretty much like amazingness from, you know, inception to now. And so a lot of people take advantage of that. And that's why you see so much stuff on Alibaba and that kind of stuff, is because they're taking all the ideas of the, you know, the industry pioneers and basically just copying them because they worked out all the kinks and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk about the seamless. There's a seamless slide out back. I love HEC Seamless. It is a wet-only slide. They have an option in the slides, the combos, and the slip-in slides. There's no liner, there's no Velcro. They're coming out with a seamless step that's replaceable. The cleanup is amazing. There's no water intrusion, you know, so even if it pours down rain, the likelihood that you're going to get water is very rare. And my guys love them. The customers think that they're faster, they're better. You don't have Velcro scratches, you're not getting scratched with the stitching, which is some of the things that you'll encounter when you buy from a manufacturer that isn't reputable. So I would encourage you guys to, if you've never owned something seamless, buy one, test it out, and I promise you, you'll be hooked. The bridge weld is, I'll let Marvin from HEC talk about that a little bit more, but it is a technology that they have patented and helps with all of the things that I just mentioned. They have, I make fun of them, it's such a horrible word. They're like the old school people, you know, like everybody at HEC is like old that works there. And their website was really old and probably the worst in the industry until recently. So if you guys have never looked at them, they've got Marvin stepping up as operations manager to kind of rejuvenate the brand as Kevin stepped away for his transplant surgery. And I'm super excited to see all of the new things that they are bringing out because they continue to build things and implement technologies that's going to make the industry better. So they're old school though. Probably the old school of everybody. It shows. But Marvin's gonna liven it up. He's bringing some young blood. Let's see. Standing behind every product, their warranty is phenomenal. Confidence in their craftsmanship, backed by strong warranties and support. When you choose HEC Inflatables, you're investing in innovation, reliability, and a company that truly stands behind its products. Basically all of the things that I just said. And why do I choose Jump Orange? Yes?
How difficult is the warranty process for HEC?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
How difficult is the warranty process for HEC?
I've never had an issue, and I've been buying from them. Okay, how difficult is the warranty? I'm such a horrible person. How difficult is the warranty process with HEC? I have been buying from them for probably 7 or 8 years. I didn't even know like them. I just bought randomly, and I had one issue with like a stress point. I emailed them. It had been like 9 months, and they said, you know, take it to a repair shop. We'll pay for it, and we're going to give you $100 for your time. And so I was like, thanks, we were cool. And then as the Seamless came out, I was like, let me try this, let me try this. And it's probably only been the last 4 or 5 years that I've actually established like any kind of relationship with them. I try to be friends with everybody. I, you know, talk to people, almost all the manufacturers, like on a personal level and a professional level at this point. Just because I want to believe in the people behind the product, and those connections are important to me. So that's why I love these opportunities, because you can go to Julio, you can go to Marvin, you can go to Matt, you can go to Thomas, and really kind of just form like a little relationship. And while you'll be loyal to them, just remember, you should always be diversified. So make friends with everybody. Okay, so since 2002, Jump Orange has been creating inflatables that deliver imagination and fun. Jump Orange has been nested in the inflatable industry since 2002, helping businesses grow with high-quality products, strategic insights, fast delivery times. Unlike companies that just sell inflatables, they understand the rental business inside and out. And then business-friendly solutions. So my first experience with Jump Orange, I tell everybody this, is they have been called Jump Orange in the past. And so I was like, what is everybody's like issue with Jump Orange? This was years ago. So I bought my first slide from them, glued up, took a rental, everything was fine, relocated it on the next day. And the customer calls and they said, there's a huge rip in the stair. We can't even get up. And like the whole stair had like separated. And I'm like, this is the second time it's been used. You got to be kidding me. I immediately freaked out. I was furious. Got in touch, I think it was Julio. And I'm like, yo dude, I don't even know you, but I just bought this slide and it is literally junk. And so I was like, gosh, this is crazy. They overnighted me a news, and it wasn't even their fault. I think it ended up, it happened like 50 slides or something. The factory had put like the wrong liners on it and all this stuff. But they made it right. They sent me a blower a couple of weeks later and said, you know, hey, you know, you're a first-time customer. We're really sorry that you had that experience. We hope it didn't, you know, cause you a lot of frustration. And I thought that was really cool. Since then, I've only had one other issue, and it was on an older unit. It was like netting or something like that. But I've had nothing else like catastrophic happen right out of the gate. They are one of the manufacturers who are really good about trying to figure out ways that they can help their customers. So they've opened a location in Florida. It has a showroom. You can go look at stuff at like the warehouse. Sometimes they have stuff blown up. Ray is a big contributor into the community. So the events that go on like this, IAPA, the parties, he's really big about supporting everybody and, you know, just being like part of the industry. There's lots of manufacturers that don't do those things, and I love the ones that do because I feel like these opportunities are really important, and the giveaways and all the things. Keep an eye on the people that want to make the industry a better place, that want to support you guys, that want to lift you up. Those are the manufacturers that I would encourage you to establish relationships with. Julio, anything you want me to add? You're amazing. He's so cool. Kevin.
So, like you said, you got issues with your hands. I'm like a true testament to Jump Orange. Pretty good stuff, and if you ever need anything, they will take care of you. I know they got different people dropping in and out, but they're really good. You guys are good. Matt, maybe right here get to kind of potential Dolores for everything.
Me and Kevin go way back, and Stephen too. We truly try to get experiences with everybody, because as a business owner, you want to know what's the best, what works best for you. Jump Orange comes out with one of the reasons that I buy from them, you know, look at my freaking ridiculous smiley face sweater. They come out with the most ridiculous things, but they make money like nobody's business. They're some of my most popular units. And you see them blown up, and you get to IAPA, and you're like, what were they even thinking? And then you buy it, and you're like, whoever is the mastermind back here has an idea, you know, and people are attracted to that. It's appealing. Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to say about Jump Orange?
I just want to highlight their the GEM membership. Something that I think that some of the other manufacturers look into. But basically, for the price of if you're buying 2 inflatables, you might as well just buy a GEM membership. You get free shipping, and then once a year or twice a year now. Once a year, you do. Yeah, once a year they do a giant special for GEM Day, where things just get ridiculously cheap. But also, if you need that emergency in-stock unit during the middle of the summer, or you have no problem buying from California. Like, I'm in Buffalo, New York. I have no problem buying from Jump Orange. It's different now, I guess, they're on the East Coast too. But it used to be even more of an advantage because you can get those units from California shipped to Buffalo and no delivery costs. So it starts to matter with your bottom line.
That's it. They have, like, I feel like they get beat. I think every manufacturer gets beat up a little bit about certain things. In Jump Orange, nobody understands why they have this membership. Guys, if you do the math, like it's common sense. It's like, I just had 2 units come from another manufacturer. It was $1,100. So this $599 that they're charging is like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I was gonna go on top of that. I'm in the Northeast, and I never understood why people complained about the GEM membership, because we're paying so much in shipping from all the other manufacturers. That's like, that $700 or whatever it's nothing. It's like what, $200 to be at your doorstep?
And then, like Justin said, they put the GEM Day
Too late.
No, I'll let you.
No, I'm done.
Okay. The GEM Day sale is crazy. Like, some of the prices are literally like insane. They have like $1,900 combos, and they do like random things. I was kind of jealous that nobody told me. I thought I had it in Jump Orange. Yeah, no, that's not the case, because in one of, they have like mystery sale or something, and people got units that nobody had ever seen before. You guys know me, I like that weird stuff. I'm like, how the freak did nobody tell me, hey Janet, you should buy something, because we're, you know, there was only one of these exist, but I didn't get any of those because nobody loves me.
I was gonna say is like, buying from Jump Orange, like
Closer to your mouth.
like with y'all doing all the sales at Jump Orange, the hard part for me is like, I just don't, you know, like the sales come and go. Like it's almost like it'd be cool if there's like a structure of like this time of year we're putting games out or slides or, you know, where you could kind of have an idea what you're buying when it's for the next part of the season, where you can plan for it.
Real quick before I pass out the microphone on, to touch on the point of Janice and Justin, thank you for the nice words. And in general, from the feedback that I've gotten from not only this convention, but every other convention that I attended, customers like Jump Orange for either just water slides, just combos, different items. I mean, we have Robert, our host, who he buys, hey, I'll buy only 19 and certain combos from you, but the rest of the items I like other manufacturers. So as business owners, give other manufacturers a chance. It sounds weird coming from.
But I encourage people when they call me and say, hey, who makes things in the US? I don't mind telling them DC, Bouncing Angels, the Unique, Boris has been around for many, many years as well. So check around. I don't mind spreading info and things like that. Now that we have a new location in Orlando, if any of you have any issues regarding our products, we have about 3 people, Bounce Sticks, Glenn, one other one in Miami. We also, I mean, we try to keep anything that you guys have issues, feedback, everything you need regarding sales and things like that. Regarding the sales, later on I'll, you know, give you a little spiel on that part. But we will be a little bit more active when it comes to sales, things that you guys are looking for. Keep in mind that your feedback is very important. If you guys talk with yourselves and things like that, but you don't relate that info
Towards any manufacturer, you're not really helping anybody, right? So make sure you guys reach out to us. I know last year there was a big thing going on with a lot of counterfeit scamming with a lot of people. I think some of you guys, I don't know if some of you guys here got burned, but make sure that when you're reaching out to any manufacturer, reach out to them, call them, right? When it comes to Bouncing Angels, Easy, myself, we know who to call because we're pretty active when it comes to social media, right? So make sure you guys keep an eye on that because I know some of the manufacturers, I don't think we got hit. We did get hit as far as a lot of fake profiles regarding Jump Orange products and things like that people were scamming. So make sure you also keep an eye on that part, right? Just pick up the phone, call Jump Orange, Easy Inflatables. If it's too good to be true on social media, for the most part it is, guys. So on that part, you know, again, heads up on that. Be careful because everyone's scamming nowadays. So when it comes to, right, Jen, I think it was Easy, Bouncing Angels. I know for we were getting a lot of calls. Hey, I'm seeing this deal too good to be true. Just want to make sure it's you guys. I was like, nope, that's not us. I even reached out to one of the fake accounts, and they're like, yeah, send me $250 or send me $500, and then I'll schedule an appointment. I'm like, oh, cool, dude, yeah, send me the info. I'm like, so that's definitely a scam. So again, be careful. There's no manufacturer out there that's like, give me $500 and then I'll send you my address. That's not a thing, guys. And for Jump Orange, we have the LA location. To be more specific, Castleberry location, which is like 30 minutes in Orlando. But yeah, anything like that, just reach out to us. We're here to help as much as we can.
Sorry, I don't use microphones a lot. If you guys, I just bought from Julio just like a lot, just the other day. I do have some units for sale. Jump Orange so you can test out their quality. If you guys need anything, Julio's gonna go over his spill of what he's got. He's got some amazing stuff. So it's the purplish combo castle thing. So.
The garage sale was yesterday.
Oh yeah, hey, free gym membership. it's already here.
Kevin, did you have a question?
A lot of like new operators, they always ask like where they should get new units or where they can get the best bang for the buck. And I always say like October Gem Day sale, you can get a lot of units for very cheap. And I was pleasantly surprised when I received those units that the quality was actually really good. And it's like $1,900 for some of these combos, because you shouldn't get those really unique units your first year, but $1,900 for those like more generic combos. They rent very well and you can get a lot for a little. So that's what I usually recommend.
I'll also kind of piggyback off of that, getting in trouble because I haven't talked. when you are going to buy something, or let's just, I hear this all the time, like, hey, I'm gonna buy out, and we can have a little roundtable about this, like, hey, I'm gonna buy out this smaller company around me. You know, it's $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, all this kind of stuff. Guys, talk to somebody that knows more than you do before you do those things. Last year, an operator in Florida came and he says, I have $57,000 to spend. And I want to buy out this company, and this is their numbers, and this is their inventory. And I'm like, no, the math isn't mathing. No, you know, he's like going to meet them that day, and something, he just wanted somebody else's opinion about it. So this dude calls me, we talk, then he three-ways in his mom. What's even going on here? And so I explained to both of them, I'm like, okay, let's do the math. Let's reach out to a couple of manufacturers and find out if you're set on spending $57,000, what that $57,000 can get you from somebody else. If you call a manufacturer and you say, most manufacturers, if you call them and you say, I have $50,000, what can you do for me? They're going to do something for you. They want your money just like you want your customers' money, but you have to give them the opportunity to know what you're working with, to know what your goals are, and then they'll help you. I mean, he was like, he got all brand new equipment, blowers, stakes, everything. And he was like, he messaged me the other night, what made me think of, he's like, you have no idea how grateful I am that I asked you. And I get it. Like, you think that buying people out is the way to go, and Robert from Down South Atlanta can kind of touch on that tomorrow. It's not always the right thing. It has to be the right place, the right time, the right company, the right value, and it's way more than just buying somebody out. Let's see here. Other investment factors when purchasing inflatables, turnaround time, do they offer financing or bulk discount? Is replacement vinyl readily available for repairs? What kind of customer support is provided? Are there good testimonials from other customers? We all know about the Facebook groups, we know about the sponsorships and all those kinds of things, but like Nick and myself and Kevin and Steven and Ryan and all these people here, I think most of us have really, Justin, have kind of honed in on buying from everybody is ultimately gonna generally lead to more success. I want to give a shout out, because he's not on my list, to Matt at Big and Bright. I'm going to talk crap about him for a second. Last year, his stuff was so heavy. So heavy. Like, what's going on here? New guy buys a dinosaur combo, goes onto the Facebook group, and he's like, I can't even move it. What did I do? And Matt took all that feedback, and he has worked tirelessly with his team to address those issues, to cut down weight, to redesign, and to really, like, if you look at his stuff from last year to what we're starting to see this year, the designs alone are like, it's like, it doesn't even look like it's the same company. He's really bought into what we're doing, the community. You see him everywhere. He's not one of those people that hides. You know, some of us went out to dinner last night. Matt and Joe were there front and center. They want to be a part of the industry, of the community. They want to take the feedback from their customers and do all the things. You know, wow, you guys, knock your socks off. They are, I bought a double link, like, USA slide on their website. Like, I didn't even talk to Matt about it, just went on and bought it. Within minutes, I had a Dropbox of professional photos and drone footage, and I was like, shut up. Like, this, like, I didn't have to do anything. It cut out so much work, so much editing, so much frustration. My guys having to blow it up when we did it, just at my fingertips as soon as I made the purchase. So look for manufacturers that are buying into you, that are giving back, that are focused on education, lifting up the community, doing things. You know, we've had the waffles. Matt donates a portion of his proceeds to an organization that's dear to his heart called Charity Water. those are the people that you want to surround yourselves with, not the people that are, you know, at an arm's distance and they don't really care. So I would encourage you guys to do that. If you didn't see the Rippling Rush, I am publicly saying that that is my favorite slide ever in 15 years. So you should all order one because it is beautiful. Those hot pink palm trees are what it's about. So I encourage you, if you haven't looked at Big and Bright, check out his stuff. Check out the Seamless out there. Look at Jump Orange's combo, 7-foot platform, Julio. That is a game changer. And really pay attention to the people that are here, that are supporting you guys, that are going to these events, that are doing things outside of just going to a trade show and trying to take your money. Don't buy from China. And I'll let you guys read this. Any questions? Oh, and a lot of people say buy multiples. I'm gonna tell you, every time I bought a multiple, I regret it. Every single time.
Same.
It's like it hurts, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna change out the iPads real quick. So we have time for like no questions at all, but I've gotta change out the iPads, so raise your hands fast. And I don't have a favorite manufacturer for anything. Literally, like, each product, kind of like Julio said, like, I have a favorite for a slide with a pool. I have a favorite for a combo. I have a favorite for an obstacle course. Justin, the construction? It's not. I'll let you know. Any other questions?
And then I also made a 40-hour course of tents, tables, chairs, rental trailers, dishes, luxury items, and stuff like that. Preface to my presentation, I'm talking about adding tents to your inventory, but if you're in a place like here at Florida, Georgia, where population is huge, like, you don't really need to add tents. But in a place like where I'm at, where bounce house companies, and I'm always setting up tents at their jobs, population is a lot smaller, and they can only grow so big. So if they want to keep growing, the next logical step is to take more pieces of the pie and add tents. Here, there's 500 units. This guy never needs to add tents, but like I said, my population here, you want to grow, you got to keep adding more things. Okay, change that. All right, so how many people here currently offer tents? Show of hands. Okay. How's it going? Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We know Chris back there. I'm going to talk about him a little bit. He's doing really good. He started out inflatables. For those of you that don't offer tents, raise your hand. How many people get calls for them? Okay, not that many. For the people that raised your hands, do you refer them to someone else? Yeah. Okay. So you're giving money to the other part of your company, where you could be taking that. All right. So change that, please. So what I do, and I would do this with inflatables too, you need to see if there's a demand first. So I throw things on my website all the time. I do not own them. And once it gets to 10 requests, I know that it is a good thing to buy. So like, I'll do fancy chairs that cost a lot of money, and I'll throw them up on the website and get the 10 requests, like, okay, I'm time to buy them. And then if people call for them, I used to lie and just say, oh, look up for that weekend. But then I just started telling the truth and just saying, I don't have those. They're just a test on the website. You're like, okay, I understand. So, talking to people here in IAAPA, the main thing people don't really want to do when they're thinking about tents is it's a completely different delivery schedule. I set up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't take down until Monday, Tuesday. And a lot of you guys set up the same day, take down the same day, which I find insane. But also a lot of you guys, like Justin, will set up Friday, take down Sunday.
But if you do add tents, it can kind of like free up. Am I all over the place?
No, you're.
Okay.
And that's where you're supposed to be. You're doing good.
Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. So if you do add tents, it can kind of free up your delivery schedule a little bit. So like, you're setting up a tent and a bounce house, you can do that Friday, and then take it down Sunday and Monday. And then you can do your single, just inflatables, same days, Saturday, or down that night. And then if you start adding more tents, it gets a little crazier. You can start setting up Wednesday, Thursday, take down Monday, Tuesday. And if you got a bunch of employees and you just don't have enough hours for them, if you add tents, you can fill up at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and give them the hours that they want, and you're more able to keep guys on because they don't have to find another job that will interfere with, your business. All right, so with tents, you're not reinventing the wheel. You already got hammers, you got tarps, a lot of you guys got the powered dollies, and tents are a lot lighter. Like you can throw a lot of these on your shoulder. So you don't have to reinvest that much into the things that are gonna make your life easier and faster. You've already got this stuff. Before we get into that one, I hate bounce house stakes. So when you have tents, you're gonna have stakes that are about 4 feet tall. So if you ever encounter like sand or just conditions where your stakes aren't holding, now you'll have 4-foot stakes to put in place of some of those bounce house stakes to keep that bounce house safe. Okay, so big question I posted on Facebook, what people want to learn about tents is the ROI. It's 10. So tents, tables, and chairs, lighting, things like that. The general rule of thumb is you price it at 10% of what you bought it for, and you make money back in one season. Now that's not always the case. Like these chairs might be $15, but everyone in your area is doing them for $1, so it's gonna be a little longer than 10. But other things like lighting and dance floor, you might be able to get that back in 2 or 3 rentals. But in general, you're gonna average out to 10 rentals, make your money back. The next question was, what size to start with? So every single weekend, me and my crews are setting up tents for these parties where bounce houses are at. And we're seeing mostly 20 by 20, 20 by 30, and 20 by 40. And where I'm at, big backyards and stuff, it's mostly pole tents. We'll get into frame tents in a little bit. We've done a few jobs where it's a big tent and the inflatable might actually go under the tent because it's raining or whatever. But in general, you're just looking at 20 people, 50 people, 80 to 100 people parties. And is anyone doing parties that big, or is it generally around 20 people? Justin's doing parties that big, but the rest of you, is it like 20, 30 people parties with bounce house? So most of your parties, until you get schools and corporate events and stuff, is 20 to 50 to 80, 100 people. So you really don't need to start off big. It's not that, don't be scared. These are easy. These can take like 20 minutes to set up. Frame tents is a different story, and me and Justin will be setting up a frame tent tomorrow as a demonstration. And I was just shown the frame tent. It's not a tent a style that I've ever set up before, so that's going to be fun. The problem with frame tents is they do take up more space. You're going to need to reconsider like delivery. Some of these poles can be very long, up to 20 to 25 feet long. And then the weights, that's a 500-pound weight. Water barrels just don't cut it. Someone's gonna die if you use water barrels. So I suggest starting with pole tents. They're a lot easier to set up. You don't need a new vehicle, just use the same trailer. But some people, the yards might not be big enough. There might be a lot of underground utilities. You may have to do frame tents, but there's different options where you can get like 10-foot legs and connectors instead of having the 20-foot poles. But in general, just start with pole.
I had a question. So with the concrete blocks, one, where do most people find these? And then two, how do you handle the logistics?
Right. He's asked, where are most people finding these blocks, and how do you handle logistics? So this is not the one that I use, but there's a company called Block and Roll where they have, you buy the form from them, and then there's a slot, and just like these right here, these electric hand carts, there's carts for it that you put the thing in the slot, pull it back, and you move around 500 to 1,000 pounds easy. And I have that hand cart, but I don't have the powered version, and it's super easy. So the form is like $1,500, and you can make up to 2 blocks a day, and it's a lot safer than water barrels. Like, I'm 200 pounds, I can push over the water barrel easy. So if the wind comes and moves that tank a little bit, water barrel pushes over, and then we lose the tank. So a lot of inflatable guys are scared of tents. They're not that intimidating once you learn the process. It's just, you just repeat it over and over and over again. But I do think a lot of the inflatable businesses do not need to start with, 20 by 20 pole tents. I know a lot of your parties are like 12 to 30 people, whatever. So I do think just starting with pop-up tents is a great way to start and just gauge interest. Now, I bought some really expensive pop-ups. If anyone wants to know where I bought them, just come talk to me. And I had one up since Memorial Day to Labor Day. Got rained on, got snowed out even, did not come down. You don't want to buy your pop-ups from Walmart, so come talk to me about where the pop-ups are. But like, this party over here, they just added an extra like $200 to the party for about 10 minutes worth of work. So they go set up the bounce house slide, whatever, and then deliver that, and it's an extra $200 for 10 minutes. Like, I think that's pretty good. And then if their interest in tents grows, they add the 20 by 20, 20 by 30, 20 by 40. Now they're adding $400 or $500. Once you get fast enough, it's only 20 minutes. Like, it does not take that long to set up pole tents if you want to know. Great question, go ahead.
Yeah, I just purchased the 10 by 20 from Tent to Table. From an anchoring standpoint, what's the difference? I see sandbags here.
So he just asked, what's the anchoring difference between that? So they're using sandbags right there. I actually use concrete weights that I made in the bucket, so they're about 80 to 100 pounds. I put an eye loop in it. If you're on the grass, it's the same thing. You just put a stake in and put it down. There was another question.
What is your opinion or y'all's opinion about buying those but having your company branding on it?
Yes, what's the opinion of buying those but having a company branding on it? For the inflatable business, yeah, go ahead and brand it. But if you're going to expand beyond that, you do not want to see anything on those tents. You're going to start getting fancier events and stuff. Maybe not with pop-ups, but as you get bigger tents, don't brand anything. Trust them.
You can sell those custom tents to clients for marketing purposes. To your corporate clients, you can just sell them the top and you keep the frame. So you make them pay for it and they get your money on top of that.
Okay, so this is different than what Janet was saying about buying from a whole bunch of people. Once you start buying tents, you kind of want to stick with the same manufacturer because this pole might be 7 feet, this pole might be 12 feet, whatever. These corner pieces are different, so if you start adding a whole bunch of different manufacturers in, your crews are going to bring the wrong things. You're going to waste a lot of time and money driving back and forth. Tables and chairs, just buy from any company that imports from China. There's not that much difference in tables and chairs. Tents, though, this is just my opinion. You really want ones made in the US. I bought Chinese ones, and they're shit. And they just fall apart. The US manufacturers can customize their tents easily, and they just do make them better. Yes, it's a little more expensive, but that's just what I feel. I've never seen a good Chinese tent. Okay, it's a little old school in this business too. Yeah, you can't just order online. If there are companies that you just see order online, you can be pretty much well guaranteed that they're just Chinese tents. These companies, you gotta kind of call, talk to a rep, and get quotes. I do have a comprehensive vendor list on my Etsy for a whole $2. of hundreds of manufacturers that I think are good. So if you want that, just talk to me later. Okay, clients will pay for convenience. So instead of getting the inflatable from one place and the tent from another place, if you have the tents, they will get it from you. And I know a lot of your websites have the add-on feature. I've seen IO have it, ERS. So when they go to book the inflatable, they'll see that you have tents, tables, chairs. I would suggest just making packages of like 10, 20, 30 party package, so that it's just easy for them to get the tent, tables, and chairs that they need. This is kind of an aside, but this is my favorite add-on item. We try to add this on every single party, whether it's 10 people or 200 people. We rent this out for $10, and I try to get 2 on every single job. And then if the standard black tablecloth goes with it, it's $14. But just these, I'm making $10 a week by adding 2 to 4. Over the course of the season, I make an extra $10,000 just by talking people into getting these. And I say, hey, you just throw them around the yard, everyone's gonna gather around them. So if you start getting the 10 tables and chairs, you want some cocktail tables, they're easy money. Okay, and as you know, if you add tents, you're probably going to start landing larger jobs. Now, a lot of you guys may already have these corporate gigs and school gigs. You're doing all the bounce houses, and then I'm coming in and doing tents. But you might be able to easier get these corporate jobs if you're a one-stop shop. Okay. So when I made the post on the Party Rental page, a few people were like, it's going to get crazy if you add tents. I'm not going to lie. So once you add tents and you start getting more jobs, you're going to need more tables, more chairs, more tents, and larger tents. And then you'll start getting asked for the fancy shit, like the Shibari chairs, clear chairs, lands. We got restroom trailers. Those are super easy. If anyone wants to know about restroom trailers, talk to me. Like, they're super easy. Dinnerware, glassware, lighting, dance floors. Lighting is one of my favorite things because I make my money back in 2 rentals, and it takes only a little bit to set up, and I probably make like $100,000 in lighting every year, and it's super easy stuff to do.
What are your thoughts on like cold sparks?
What are my thoughts on cold sparks? Not worth it. There's not enough. I personally don't like photo booths, cold sparks, anything that's like under $200. Not worth time and money. I'd rather go set up a tent and make $1,000 and not have to be there to man the photo booth or cold spark or whatever. So also with tents, you'll need to consider more employees, larger delivery vehicles, and more storage space. Now, when you first start out, that's not going to be a factor. Tents aren't any bigger than most bounce houses, and poles and stakes don't take up that much room. But as you get into frame tents and stuff, and more tables and chairs, you get more room. Go ahead.
You say larger delivery vehicles. What do you mean exactly for that?
So larger delivery vehicles, what I mean. So once you get into frame tents, these poles are 20 feet long, so you're going to need at least a 20-foot trailer or a ladder rack or whatever. Tables and chairs are easiest in a box truck. You can, ratchet them to the wall or whatever, and then you start adding bars and dance floor. You're not doing that in an open trailer. You're not doing dance floor in a trailer either because it's so heavy that you almost have to deliver it separate because you need to distribute your loads and trailers. Yeah, concrete blocks, you're doing box trucks, basically. I just added this slide because you guys are not people to back down, obviously. Bounce houses are heavy, wet water slides are heavy, so yeah, tents may seem scary, but if you add tents, you can maybe do less jobs, get the same money because a lot of your bounce house jobs only have tents now. Or you can do the same amount of jobs and make more money. Or more jobs, larger opportunities, and more money. Yes.
So I do both, but one big thing I've noticed is the amount of time that you have to invest in the customer, in selling it, and making sure everything's going smoothly. When a bounce house is very different, we talk about that as well.
Yeah, sure. He said the amount of time you spend between a bounce house customer or a tank customer is different. It's true. So like most people do not know what size tent they need, so they got to call you up and say, hey, I'm having a 200-person party. Can I get a 20 by 20? No. So you have to walk them through. You have to ask a lot of questions. You got to ask if they have a head table for a wedding, because head tables take up a lot of space. Are they having a buffet area? Do they need a dancing area and stuff? So like, it's about a 15, 20-minute conversation to get all the info you need to make sure that you can get them the right tent, because you don't want to give them a small tent. A small tent when they need and show up, and then they are kind of displeased. But in general, a lot of people have called around for quotes. So by the time they call you, if you're not the first one, they kind of know what they need, but you still steer them in the correct direction. So anyway,
Plastic versus wooden tables.
plastic versus wooden tables. So I'm a big person on wooden tables. However, I think when you're first starting out, you get cash flow going, just get plastic tables. But if you're going to be in the tents, tables, and chairs part for a long time, you want to get wooden ones that are full plywood, not just a laminate on top. The laminate one will be destroyed in 2 years. If it's full plywood, you can sand it. I have tables that are older than I'm 42. I have tables from Palmer Snyder that you can sand each year and re-stain. And you know, those tables are made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're 40 years old and they look brand new stuff. So I think plastic starting out is fine. Get the cash flow going, but eventually switch to wood.
6 foot versus 8.
6 foot versus 8 foot, so most big party rental companies have 8 foot. It's, you go into any big warehouse and there's hundreds of 8 foots and like a quarter of the 6 foots. Okay, so as we all know, the party rental industry is like a big pie. You go there and you see these setting up tents. I used to go places and see dudes every single wedding setting up the restaurant trailers. So like, if you're comfortable and you're paying attention, you see all these pieces of the pie and you start adding it. Like I know a lot of you already do, like a lot of you added foam machines, some of you added DJing, photo booths and stuff, but there's a lot of money on the table. You may not want to add all that. Like I don't want to add wedding planning on there. I don't want to deal with these people. But we added restaurant trailers, we added dishes, and like fancy lighting. I did not add bounce houses. I don't really want to. I make way more than enough money just doing tents that I don't really need to. But there is a lot of different things you can do in the event rental industry. So just always keep an eye out for what's going on in your area and what can I add. Like I said, I was showing up at every single wedding and these guys were doing restaurant trailers and they were making $1,500 or $2,000 for 15 minutes in their meeting. So we added restaurant trailers. Okay, so at the end of the day, adding tents is not just about money, obviously it is. It's about being able to service the customer and as many parties as you can. But you know, just start small, stay flexible, add some things to your website, see if there's demand for it, and see where it goes, and you might be able to get extra income. I hate at these things when people try to sell shit, but I made a 40-hour course on sale right now if anyone's interested in it, just let me know. It talks about everything, tents, tables, chairs, restaurant trailers, everything I learned about this business, and I calculated it saves about $400,000 in mistakes that I made. I will be around, I don't know if I'm doing a breakout or anything, but just walk up to me and introduce yourself and ask any questions. Real quick, Nick, any questions? Go ahead.
Does it include the $2 head seat?
Yes. Does the course have the $2 head seat? Yes, it does.
Hey, let me get here with the microphone.
When, like, as us as inflatable people right now, like using a tent company, should we get their insurance? Should we, you know, what should we get from the tent company to make sure we're covered? As in doing a party together.
From the meeting. Oh, yeah. I don't do anything with the bounce house guys. I don't get their insurance. They don't get my insurance. We're completely separate. But if you are like sub-renting this stuff, you want to be added to their insurance and then added to yours.
What about the wind speed? What speed or gust you stop setting up the tents?
So that's going to be different with every manufacturer. You want to just see what their engineering specs are. And you can get stuff up to 90 miles an hour. They're called engineered, whether it's pole or frame tent. But you just, from your manufacturer, they'll tell you. We set up in crazy winds just because we got to get the job done. You just have to kind of pre-stake things, pre-ratchet things.
Let the wind do the work.
Yeah, sometimes the wind does the work for you to get those big tents up. Any other questions? Oh, right there. No, he's just raising his hand.
He's celebrating because he's going to get tents.
Okay, perfect. When do you stop buying tents? When you get to where you want to be. So in my area, I could get bigger. In my warehouse has 10 loading docks, but we only use 2, and I use the other ones for storage. I bought some decommissioned trailers and bring them up to it. So I could get bigger if I wanted to, but I don't. I have a friend who makes $20 million a year doing only tents, and he has 200 employees, he has 50 trucks, he has 2, 800,000 square foot warehouses. And he's happy doing that. I would blow my brains out doing that. I'm happy where I'm at. I took my money and put it into 2 wedding venues. The restroom trailer business is separate. I do not want to get that big, but I could. So you just keep going until one.
Awesome.
We do have a question back there. We'll just take one more.
You said you separated your restroom business from the tent business? Like everything, your wedding venues, all that separately?
Yeah. My restroom trailer business, I invested with 2 other people, so it's a separate business. So if I ever sell my party rental business, we still have the restroom trailers. And the 2 wedding venues, yeah, they're separate as well.
What else do you have that goes with the tent that you would separate brand?
What else do I have in the tent that goes separate brands? The dish company was separate because I gave the employee the opportunity, but the customer doesn't know that. So when the customer calls and they order dishes, they don't know. I just basically separate them from my other company, and the same thing with the restroom trailers. I do not suggest people going into business with their friends. The dish company didn't work out that well. The restroom trailer and the menus are working out, but the dish company was a little rough.
Awesome. Everybody give a humongous round of applause for Adam. Can I pass you that one? Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so I am actually going to be I just added tents. I just bought 5 tents. I bought tents from a company that Justin actually suggested. I haven't opened them yet. They're still in the pallet. I've been palletized in my warehouse for almost 2 weeks now because I don't know what the hell to do with them. So tomorrow I get to learn from Adam and Justin when they do their tent seminar, I guess. And I'm very excited for that because I just added those. So. All right, so it's now actually my turn to speak. So there's no introduction. It's me. So I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about myself and kind of how I started to jump off, and then I'm going to get into my little keynote speech. And I don't have a PowerPoint. I don't believe in PowerPoints. I don't do PowerPoints. I just get up here and talk. Okay, so I started to jump off in 2019. Kind of said that earlier, right? My wife actually bought 2 inflatables. She called me while I was at work, and she said, hey, I'm tired of renting bounce houses from the guy down around the corner or whatever, so I'm gonna go buy one. I found a really good deal. The Spacewalk factory is apparently in New Orleans, so I'm gonna drive over there and buy one. Are you cool with that? I'm like, holy shit, how much? Like, those are expensive. She's like, no, it's $400. I'm like, oh, okay, go ahead. So then she calls me later and she says, well, I told them that you might want to start renting it out, and they're trying to talk me into a slip and slide too. I'm like, oh Jesus, how much is that? She's like, well, I talked them down in price. I'm gonna get both of them for $700. I was like, oh damn, okay, that sounds good. So she's like, yeah, you want to start this? You want to leave your job and start a business? This will give you a great opportunity to learn. I said, fantastic. So she buys both of those. They did the math wrong. They only charged her $600. And so then we started renting those out. That was 2019, so that was like July 2019. you know, I do a couple rentals, whatever, it's going well. We buy another one, front spacewalk again, used, a combo this time in October. I then hit the Bounce House lottery. So I was driving Uber and I was selling garbage off the side of the road to try and make extra money to bring in while I'm trying to, you know, get the jump off going and try to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do with my life. And the guy that comes to buy these 2 bites from me sees 3 bounce houses and he's like, well, I have 28. To me, that was like insane. 28, I have 3. Like, he ends up telling me where he buys them in bulk. And so, to make a long story short, I drove out there, I knocked on the fucking door that just showed up. And I ended up buying a 14-foot enclosed trailer with 7 bounce houses in it for $2,000. I got home and unloaded the trailer. There was 2 bonus bounce houses in it, so there was actually 9. I then turned around and sold that trailer because I couldn't keep it anywhere. So I sold that trailer for $1,800, so I basically got 9 bounce houses for $200. And then from there, COVID hits and everything goes nuts. Oh my God. So I've turned into like the AV host and the microphone guy and the virtual guy, and I totally spaced it so they haven't heard anything I've said.
Me too, and I don't know how this happened.
Where did Adam go? The mic is on Adam. I might have another one, hold on. This one. Okay, so anyway, that's how I got into the business. And all right. Okay, so that's how I got into the business. Right, and then, so yeah, COVID hits, and then the bounce house business goes crazy. I actually ran a promo where I did, you get 1 week rental for the price of 1 day, and I absolutely decimated all of my competition during that period of time, and I used that, you know, to kind of throw the jump off. And that I remember having a conversation with, I think it was with my mom. It was either with my mom or my wife, I don't remember who, but I remember having a conversation with them where I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna be the bounce house guy. Because, you know, we were doing about $2,500 a week, and it was badass. So that leads me into what I'm gonna talk about today in my keynote. And so I would like to, I end up kind of going long-winded sometimes, so hopefully I can keep it a little bit shorter, because I'd really like to open it up to questions. Because what I'm gonna talk about is something that I see done very well in the bounce house business, but I also see it done very incorrectly in the bounce house business. So as the jump off kind of takes off, right, I buy my, like, not my dream truck, but kind of like my low-key dream truck in 2020. And I'm super excited, I'm making good money, whatever. That year for our anniversary, funny story, my wife will be here tonight, she's flying in tonight, so if you want to hear this story from her, it's probably even funnier. But so we actually have 2 anniversaries. So she got drunk, and her friend pushed her over, and she chipped her tooth. And I'd already proposed. We already had the wedding venue picked out or whatever, but the wedding wasn't for like 9 months or something. And so she chipped her tooth, and so she needed to get married to me to get on my dental. So the next day, we got married. That on my lunch break on Monday, we went and got married. And so, I got this one, we're good. Oh. So anyways, yeah, we go get married on my lunch break. And we didn't tell anybody. And so then at the wedding, you know, everyone thinks we're getting married, and it's like, yeah, joke's on you, we're already married. So anyways, we never ever celebrate our anniversary because we fucking forget. We have 2 of them. Like, we both forget, you know what I mean? So I've got all this bounce house money coming in, jump off's doing good, you know, I've got my inflatable office website is up, like everything's rolling, right? And I'm a really good entrepreneur at this point in time because everything's small, right? And I have a lot of business experience from my prior corporate job. And so it's all very easy for me, so I'm doing really well. And so for our anniversary, I surprised Michelle in 2 ways. Way number 1, I remembered. Way number 2, I bought her a Louis Vuitton purse. Okay? She doesn't remember, by the way. She does not remember the anniversary, so I text her. I was like, hey, it's our anniversary. I'm gonna take you to dinner tonight, like nowhere fancy, we went to like a casual place. And she was like, oh shit, well, the anniversary, I totally forgot. I'm like, nah, don't worry, we always forget, I just remembered, no big deal. And so my parents watched the kids, and we get there, and she opens, and I'm like, ta-da, I got you a present. And she's like, oh shit. And she opens it up, and it's a Louis Vuitton purse, right? That's the first time she's ever had like a designer bag, it's like something that expensive, whatever, right? So this Louis Vuitton purse, it's $2,000, okay? Why in the world would I spend $2,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse? If you walk in the other room, Julio literally has free bags that do the exact same thing for $0. I could go get an orange one from Julio, and instead, here I am spending $2,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse. The reason you spend $2,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse for your wife is because of the brand. The brand that Louis has built, right? When she gets here tomorrow, on her back is going to be a Gucci backpack. Why would I buy her that for Christmas last year? Not last year, the year prior. Again, the brand. Do you know that Gucci sells shoes that look like Adidas that are $900? It's crazy. So let's kind of move this over. Let's put this into kind of our realm, right? Our bounce house businesses. You're here. It's not working. Okay, we're gonna do a quick timeout. It would break while I'm talking.
Most of the people in here are guys.
Let's.
If we would have said people.
I'm almost there, guys. It's kind of weird stream, but it's gonna have to do. I'm gonna probably cut my head off. I walk around too much. I was trying not to walk around so much because of the virtual people, and then I didn't pretty much. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, if you guys have heard the story of Bounce House Atlanta from Rob, it's pretty cool, it's pretty crazy, it's pretty wild. But you'll know, and if you haven't heard it, maybe I can even tell it a little bit later today. If not, I have a whole interview I did with him last 2 years ago, I think. It's on my YouTube channel, you can go watch it. But basically, if you know, Rob opened this place day one with 80 inflatables, right? I opened with 2. So, but if you look around, if you go to Bounce House Atlanta's website, right? And if you guys want to do it on your phones while I'm talking, that's totally fine. But you go to Bounce House Atlanta's website, you'll notice something about that website, and that it's amazing. It's fantastic, right? It's like the Gucci of Bounce House businesses. But you go to that website, and it's like an experience being on that website. So the instant any customer goes to that website, what's going through their head? Oh, these guys are gonna do a good ass job, right? At any given time, at any given day, you can go to any given Facebook group of bounce houses, and there's a post of the $99 bounce house with tables and chairs and a snow cone maker. And the original poster will put on it, how the hell am I supposed to compete with this? They're driving the prices down, yada, 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 yada. And I try to comment on every single one of those. I try to comment an analogy every single time to prove to them that no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? If you go to my website is pretty freaking awesome. I'm not Gucci Rob, right? I'm good. I don't live in Atlanta, I don't have rappers that live near me. Like, right? I don't need that for where I live. My website is, in my opinion, the best. Okay? You guys can go to it. It's thejumpoff.com. itsthejumpoff.com if you want to look at it. So, but I brand myself to where it doesn't matter to me what anybody else is charging or if anybody else is undercutting me. I don't care. The reason I don't care is because I don't want those people. Have you guys ever been shopping? This has only happened to me one time. I'm not like that fancy, right? But I was shopping I was in Las Vegas at the Caesars Forum Shops, I think it's called. And I don't remember what the store was. It was a long time ago. They literally have a guard that stands at the front and doesn't let you in. They literally tell you, no, you can't shop here. You don't look like you can have the money to buy things from here. And I think it's freaking wild. But their brand is so elevated that they don't care. They're so elevated, they don't care. They don't want your money. They'll just flip you the bird and tell you to go away. Go shop somewhere else, right? One of the analogies I always like to make, because I've bought my wife too many expensive handbags now, on those Facebook posts is that Louis Vuitton or Gucci, their executives are not standing around or sitting around the boardroom stressing that Michael Kors is running a sale at their outlet mall in Pearl, Mississippi. They don't care. They don't care, because they're Louis fucking Vuitton. And they're gonna decide who gets to buy their purses. And they're gonna price them so high that they're gonna decide. So for you guys, when it comes to your brand, okay, and your brand is not your logo, though your logo is a very key part of your brand, if that makes sense. Your brand, my favorite saying about brand is, your brand is not what you say, your brand is what they say. It's how they describe it, right? So if Rob was up here describing his own brand, the words wouldn't matter. But he's not. I'm up here describing his brand, so the words do matter. So I do think the logo is a good starting point. Now, and everybody's got different opinions on what your logo should look like. I like clean and neat and tidy, so that's why mine looks like this. Now this is like the remix edition that the t-shirt girl made without my consent, and then I did end up liking it. But this is actually the older version of the logo. There's now a white stroke, or it's usually actually black around it, because it makes it look a little more bold. But when I was making this, and I break my own rule, I made my own logo. But when I was making my logo, I wanted to make my logo for the parents. I wasn't trying to make my logo look fun. I didn't want my logo to look fun. I wanted my logo to look classy. I wanted my logo to look trustworthy, because children don't give me any money. Adults are giving me money, and so I wanted to build the trust there. From that point forward, I was very, 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 very intentional about how I built the brand of the Jump Off. Knowing nothing, by the way, knowing nothing of the Bounce House business. There was no me on YouTube before there was me on YouTube. So it was like, I was just self-taught. So I would go do a delivery, right? And like most people in here, probably, I did all the work, right? I was the only employee. I hired a cleaning guy really fast, like, as soon as it took off, I hired a cleaning guy like that week. But everything else I did, right? The booking, the deliveries, and the pickups. And so when I would get to one of the drop-offs, I would interact with the people the way I think you should interact with people, which is with politeness. Like, I'm just genuine, I want to talk to them, I'm, whatever, engaging. But I did that because, right, I'm a normal, decent person, but also I was very intentional about building the brand of the Jump Off to be very customer service oriented, right? Every single successful business, massively successful business, has like this little thing that they care about the most, and mine's customer service. So, and I'm gonna kind of wrap myself out here a little bit, but Are the inflatables, like, do I have the utmost confidence that the inflatables that my employees deliver are the cleanest they could be? Nope. I do want them clean. They are all cleaned. But I'm not out there with a magnifying glass inspecting it, and I promise you if I go clean a unit, it's gonna be cleaner than my guys clean. But that's not the thing I care about. There is a massive business in New Orleans proper, probably, I have no idea, I'm guessing, but probably 2 million, maybe 3 million a year. It's big. And that's his thing, is the clean thing. Like his units, like I've heard stories, he goes in there with a headlamp and double checks his employees. But that's his thing, right? You go to Subway and eat a sandwich. They give no shits how fast this sandwich is made. You go to Jimmy John's and the sandwich is made so fast, you didn't even know you paid. But at least at the Jimmy John's near me, they're not really that nice. They don't really care that much about it, right? Freaky fast is their brand, right? So I wanted to build mine on this. So you start with a logo that's very intentional, and then you go to the customer service piece. That's kind of where my brand goes. So if you go read my Google reviews, we have 562, I think. If you go read my Google reviews, they're all 5-star Google reviews. Most of them mention my employees by name, and then they gush about my guys. Every now and then they'll mention Cassie, right? Because she's the one that answers the phone and the text messages. And never ever do they say anything about me, like they don't even know I exist, right? But when I hire a new guy, or kind of back up, when I interview, that's what I'm looking for, is like, are you gonna be a nice person? Because my brand needs to follow that story. Like I have to stay on brand of customer service. And so it's the #1 thing that I'm looking for. Because I know that if you give great customer service, you can kind of mess up a lot of other things, and they don't really mind that much. So one of the things that I've kind of been thinking about lately that I've got to figure out a good way to kind of ingrain in the culture is we all want the 5-star Google review, right? But so I'm aiming to give them an 11-star experience. It just so happens Google only lets you give 5 stars. So then if you jack something up, like the blower goes out, now I'm at 10 stars, I still have 5 more equity stars before they're really actually that disappointed. So what I do see though in a lot of bounce house, let me say that differently. The bounce house industry is one that is very interesting because, what would you say, like 80, 90%, maybe even higher, start as a side hustle, right? Most people that start a bounce house business don't do it the way you would start a normal business, right? Does that make sense? You guys follow me on that? And so it's a very interesting industry because of that, where you have that kind of side hustler. I don't want to say anything that like paints a bad picture because I don't mean anything negative by anything I'm about to say. But you kind of have that side hustler mentality, right? I had a kid that I met the other day at the Foam Daddy conference, and he was a great freaking kid, and he was asking me questions, and we were at like this fancy dinner thingy, and I was like, bro, just do me a favor, come on my podcast. Just come on my podcast, you can answer all these, or ask all these questions in a one-on-one setting. So we did it the next week. So if you want to listen to it, it's on there. And I said something for the first time that I never really thought about, but I said it to him, and it was the first time I said it, and I thought it was poignant. I said, if you are a side hustler, nobody on earth gives a shit about that except for you, right? You try to make this charming story out of it that nobody cares about but you. And then if I'm wrong and they do care, they'll care negatively. Meaning, if you live in Atlanta and have a bounce house business that's a side hustle, and you're massively proud of the side hustle, and a church calls you and wants to do an event, say it's what, 10 inflatables, a big event, 10 inflatables. And they start asking you questions about this, and then they happen to call here and Adida answers the phone and invites them into the freaking super cool glass wall room for a meeting. Who do you think's gonna win the 10-unit contract? That's kind of what I'm saying. So the branding of your business will match up with whatever your brain kind of thinks about your business. And I've seen this happen a lot. So if it is a side hustle and you're massively proud of it, and you fucking should be, by the way. I'm not telling you should be. If it's a side hustle, you should be massively proud of it. But I would just say, don't brand yourself as the side hustle. You want to brand yourself as the badass, right? You want to brand yourself so you can go win big contracts, so you can build trust with customers. So what I've seen though is a lot of good enough. I see good enough. The logo is a little dim and blurry, but it's good enough. The website's sloppy and hard to shop, but like all the stuff is on there. It's good enough. And then that just kind of keeps going. I am a humongous fan of being obsessed about getting all the things right that I want to get right? And what I want to get right is going to be different than all of you guys. But just be intentional about your brand and how the brand is represented in the marketplace. And if you see a gap in your brand and it's not representative of who you are or what you want it to be, go fix it. I'm a big fan of DIY. Like I said, I made my own logo. Yesterday at the Christmas light thing, I said the same thing. The logo that was on my shirt, I made that logo. I have sent this logo. No, actually, I made this logo, and then I contacted 2 different professional, what do you call that? Logo guys? I don't know what they are. And they made 3 mock-ups each, and they were all garbage, and I was all frustrated. My wife was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Oh, like I got my Canva logo. Like I want a real logo." She's like, "You the best. I love your logo." I'm like, "You do?" And then I had other people comment on it too, so I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm gonna keep this one." But if you see that gap, like go fill the gap so you can tell the story that you want to tell, so you can get the jobs, get the clients, and get the scale that you want, right? Some of you guys want to stay side hustles, and I respect the hell out of that. I don't. I want to take over the world, and I think I'm crazy for that. But we're gonna fall in the middle of that. But just make sure that your brand and your branding can get you to whatever you want to be. Whether you want to get to 1 million or 2 million or take over the world or whatever it is. So, okay, I do want to open it up for questions. I've given a lot of meetings in my life, not necessarily speeches like this, but meetings in my corporate life, and I always have low audience participation. I've never understood why. I don't know if it's because I'm intense. I don't know. All my old store managers back in the when I was a corporate employee, they're like, "It's because you covered everything, boss." I'm like, "Yeah, but I like the conversation. I like the openness." So that being said, I'm gonna stand on the X on the screen.
So I know that you said that it's better to have a name and a logo that kind of tells the story of what you're doing. But both of your companies, like the Jump Off and your Light It Up, Let's Get Lit. I think they're really cool names, but they don't exactly say what they do. What would you do if you were to change? Would you keep the ones that you have? Mine are also not very clear.
Yeah, I got it.
So.
Okay, so for the online people, he's asking if I were to change my names, because my names don't say what I do really, right? So my Christmas light company is called Let's Get Lit, which sounds like a bar. And then this is the Jump Off, which also kind of sounds like a bar. I haven't thought about that.
A bar in Colorado, maybe.
So so whenever I have anybody that I'm kind of teaching or coaching that's starting out, I kind of tell them you have 2 options. So you could go Rob's route and do Bounce House Atlanta. Bingo boingo, you're done. They know what you do, they know where you are, and Google knows what you do and where you are, and Google's going to love you. You're going to go to the top of Google really fast if you're named Bounce House Atlanta, because it's clear and obvious. Whereas I went to Hard Route and named it something funny, like the jump off is named after a Wu-Tang there, because I like Wu-Tang. So for those of you that are old enough to know Wu-Tang, you know, and it's just like, I thought of that name, I thought it was funny. I texted my friend Beth that lives in Miami, that used to work with me, and she was like, it's fucking amazing, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I did. You know, I could be Covington, Bounce House Covington, Covington Bounce House Rental, I don't know. It's just up to you. It just comes down to what you want to do. Like I just couldn't be, you know, Covington Christmas light installation, because it's just not who I am. It's just not who I am. And I do think that there's both power in the name, and I also think that it doesn't matter what you name it. Like, what the hell is an Amazon? It's a store that used to sell books and now sells everything. What's an Apple? Like, you know what I mean? What's a Google? Right? They don't mean anything until you make it mean something, and with your execution. So it's like, if I just go execute brilliantly, I can name it whatever I want to name it, and it'll be good. Next question. So I was gonna write some jokes for this. Okay, never mind. I was just trying to stall. Man, let's get into the mic.
Yeah, so I was on your website, which is really good since you were bragging about it. And I noticed you have a lot of party packages section. I think I'm talking about customer service. I think it's a great idea. I'm just curious, how successful is that section? And what do you find is the feedback from customers?
So the party packages, I actually got that idea from Justin, not in here anymore. I got that idea from Justin. And so it was a pain to build. I had to work back and forth with IO support for weeks, right? Because they're computer guys, and so they did it all computer-y, and it looks like garbage from a customer service standpoint. So it's like we had to go back and forth. We finally get them built, they work, they're all good. They're a pain to get in and to put together on my end. So I kind of just tested with like some of my best stuff. And they have gone out, they have worked, but it's not been the hit that I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be upsell city and we were gonna make a ton of extra money, and it just hasn't happened. It's been kind of weird. So I've kind of fizzled out and gone away from it. I'm gonna put that together again with tents, tables, chairs as the tent stuff gets going. Joe's gonna start running my tent ads probably next week or the week after that. And I'm gonna try it again. Justin loves it though. He says he crushes with it up in Buffalo. So I'm in a very small place. Like Jana, I don't remember if she said her population or how small her area is in her PM today. I know she was talking about it yesterday. I'm half the size of her. So I'm in a very small place. Next question.
What would you say is your, not exact percentages, but breakout of like backyard parties versus corporate, school, and all that? Like kind of how are you split, and what's a good goal to get that split to?
Yeah, so my split between backyard and corporate is very heavy backyard. I don't have any corporations, you know what I mean? We do dominate the big churches now, and they get like 1 unit. Like it's not, yeah, it's just a small area. Yeah, the really big, like we do an event for one of those churches where you're like, how is it that church that big? One of those churches. And yeah, last year was 13 units, right? I mean, that's the biggest event we've ever done, and it's not even close. We do all the schools, you know, they get, now I've kind of talked most of the schools to get 2 obstacle courses, but it's just like, yeah, it's all small. Because of my small area. But but it is a good question though, because, and I don't know if this is true or not, right? But I have branded myself to try and get those, right? Because I want those, right? And so I've tried to make myself look more like a corporation, less like a mom and pop, so to speak.
Do you think with branding, like your vehicle, like a wrap on your truck and the way your trailers and everything, do you think that matters on the branding side, on your visual, like your website and your logo and all that?
Yeah, so branding your trucks, so there's two ways to think about that actually. So there's way number one, which is like, how in the world do I not have a billboard rolling down the highway, right? Signs on trailers and trucks and all that. The other side of it is, and this would be something that would be like the conservative person would say, or risk averse, you make yourself a target because they know you're gonna have commercial insurance, and the lawyers know commercial insurance pays out higher, so they're gonna swerve into you and hit you on purpose. You know, so it's kind of like, it is what it is, right? For me, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I'm not risk averse, right? I'm the opposite of that. I have a pretty high risk tolerance. So every single one of my trailers has a sign on the back that says, I kind of experiment with you know, the results, or what's on it, but basically it says, I think they all just say Bounce House Rental, have a jump off logo and a QR code. I got QR codes as often as I can. And then I've stopped putting the magnets on the trucks just because it's a pain to kind of keep up with. And I don't have any wrapped trucks because my trucks are all kind of old. They're not worth wrapping. But I'm gonna hope to buy a new one soon to wrap it. So cool. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys so much. I can't like tell you to clap for my knee because I'm the announcer. Okay, so we have one more keynote to go, and then we break for lunch. So we're gonna break for lunch at 12:30. But before we do that, we're gonna have Kevin from IOA come up here, working on the slideshow. Oh, Mikey. You got that one working, right? Okay, I'll check with him in a second. Okay, so Kevin from IOA. IOA is brand new, so I don't know a ton about it. I'm gonna let Kevin teach you guys about it. I do know that I'll be at the IOA conference, and I'll be speaking at the IOA conference. Oh yeah, just hit the power button.
What does IOA stand for?
It stands for Inflatable Operators Association. You're doing safety today, Kevin?
Yes. Well, yeah. 45 minutes.
Yeah. I know, I tried to go fast, so I got his back on time. But yeah, I'm just going to turn it over to you. You can tell everybody who you are and what you do. So everybody give it up for Kevin.
Thank you, guys. Well, first of all, I'll get started right away because 45 minutes is not a long time. And I do want to invite everybody to ask a few questions about IOA, but we're going to try to jump into the safety sort of thing right away. There is a 8-hour safety seminar that we present for the state of Pennsylvania. We're also going to be presenting that, and it could be one of the first certified classes for IOA. It's based on ASTM F2374 standards. How many people just know what I said and understand what ASTM F2374 stands for? All right, good. Because that's often a checkmark box that you're going to check on your insurance application. Hey, do you follow ASTM F2374 standards? So, out of all of you that raised your hand, who wants to explain what ASTM F2374 is? Anyone? Anyone?
Defer to you.
Defer to me, because I'm the one up here and I'm supposed to know that. So, well, ASTM ASTM creates voluntary consensus standards for just about every industry. What's 2015 from 2025, 10 years or so? 10 years ago, they actually reorganized the standard for inflatables. The inflatable standard is ASTM F2374-22. What's that -22 mean? It means that was the last date of publication. It was published in 22. There's been an update that is -24. It's been updated. What we serve to do is provide you and support your business with safety and education. And the first thing that we kind of put together was this expo. It's the IOA conference and expo. It's in Lebanon, Tennessee is the proper town, just outside of Nashville, and that's going to take place April 1st to the 3rd. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have a number of speakers that's going to be presenting over the 3 days. IO has graciously agreed to host their training there, and that training is going to take place 2 days. Chad Burkholder is going to be there sharing his insight on how to use IO, as well as the IO team. If you want to go and talk in person with somebody that you talk on the phone sometimes with, you can meet them there and learn how to set up some things, whether it's beginner, intermediate. If you go to Chad Burkholder's class, you better be advanced, because it builds on everything that's there. So inflatableoperators.org is the website. You can go there. You can register to attend the show. You can go to all the education, all the safety, and if you're interested in graduating in a first safety class for 2025, talk to me over in the other room. I'll get you information. We'll talk a little bit more, because let's face it, there's 45 minutes, and the only thing standing between lunch and you guys is me. So I'm feeling threatened right now. So we're going to go as fast as we can, and I can't possibly give you everything that is an 8-hour program in 45 minutes. This event is going to be held at the Farm Bureau Expo Complex. There's 45,000 square feet of vendors. 10 of the leading manufacturers for the inflatable industry. Our new exhibitor, Rolzall, will be there as well, signed up this morning. Jana is going to be there with a booth talking marketing, and we're going to have a lot of different presentations that are presented in a classroom setting that you can kind of, if you don't take $1,000 worth of information away, come see me, I refund your money. Because it's really been put together. And our roadmap was to do this in 2026. We talked with some of the manufacturers at IAAPA. How many have been to IAAPA? Okay, a lot of you. More than normal when I asked that question. I talked with some of the manufacturers at a meeting at IAAPA, and they said, you know, this is my 2026 plan for IOA, Inflatable Operators Association. Would you guys be willing to support that? And they said, yes, that sounds like a pretty good idea, but would you be willing to do it in 2025? I said, gentlemen, it's like 90 days. Take away the holidays, that's when it's going to be. So, Tony Atwell from Titan Inflatables came back to me the next day and showed me a list of all of these people who are willing to do this. If you're willing to produce it, we're willing to support it, and we will be there. Can you do it in 2025? I said, well, if you're willing to get on board, I would be a fool to say that we can't do this and we'll make it happen and we'll produce this and have it this year if you want to do it. So here we are today, about 60 days in advance of the conference, and we've got pretty strong registration. IO has been a big significant contributor to getting their users there to do the training, but that gets you the entire expo, the entire safety, the entire training that they have there. It's listed at $299 to attend. We wanted to get everybody and give everybody an opportunity to be there. If you want to participate in all the education, all the seminars, the nightlife we have on Tuesday and Wednesday nights that's around Nashville, to get free food and drink and sit across from people that are passionate about what they do and want to be there and want to work, network with you. $299 was the list price. There's a Save 200 when you go to register. Save 200, that gets you everything for $99. Up until 2/14/25, next Friday. What's important about that date? It's Valentine's Day, and you guys better get some damn flowers before then, because I'm keeping you out of trouble. And it has nothing to do with that show, but that show will expire. But remember that it's Valentine's Day, and you can get $200 off. There is a $50 increase after that. That'll increase to $149. You can still get your registration, it'll just be a little bit more. So with that, I want to jump into a few things here. We have an SEC committee, which is Standards, Education, and Compliance. We have 6 individuals that are on that committee that are all kind of NARSO affiliated with level 1 certification, have really dove into safety and understand it, and that was our benchmark for qualifying people that would be presenting for the safety standards and actually part of developing the educational content that we provide. So that those presenters will be there, and they will be presenting the safety training. And this is just one piece of it, and something that I've developed over the years that has helped me succeed as an operator. A little bit about me, I kind of threw this one in here. Disclaimer, when we talk about liability, when we talk about safety, when we talk about training, there's always a liability that is associated with that. And first of all, ASTM is copyrighted materials. I can't just distribute it to you, but you can be a member of ASTM and get affiliated with that and purchase the standard. I encourage you to do it at least once in your life. If you want to be an active member of the ASTM, you can actually participate and vote on the things that you agree with, or vote against the things that you don't, and influence what the standards look like and what they should mean to you. So ASTM.org is their website. As far as videotaping or pictures, I'll tell you to take pictures of certain things, and you can certainly do so. Where did I come from? I came from Ohio. I flew down here. I am a previous owner-operator. I owned a company for 32 years. I was president of the Ultrasound Special Events Inc. That company still does exist, but I still do small things. And it's a tax write-off sometimes too, when I travel, when I do things, when I buy things, and it's part of the business. I started that business in 1990. I developed it from there. We kind of pursued safety because there's people that want to take it from you when you get to be successful. Nothing from nothing yields nothing. So when you're starting out, there's not a lot at risk. And I want you to put your business hat on now, because we all wear the creative hats a lot in this business. We think about what's shiny, we think about what looks cool as far as the new theme and the new design, but what do we do to protect ourselves when we get in this business and somebody has a claim against you because for some unknown reason, or something happens, busted ankles, busted legs, destruction of property, whatnot, they're gonna file claims against you. So I got really involved with safety. We actually present at the PA Amusement Ride Safety Program. They have a unique program that I'll tell you more about later if you want to talk about different safety programs. How many people are in a regulated state that has regulation? What state, Nick?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay. Pennsylvania, I'll see you in about 2 weeks. Kansas. Everybody else, non-regulated states. Okay, most of you in Georgia, or?
Yep.
Okay. North Carolina was regulated, and they got deregulated, which is kind of cool. How many governments say we're not going to take anything from you anymore? We took enough, but understand their job and aren't willing to put in the extra effort because it's the last delivery of the day, and I don't want to swing that sledgehammer anymore, and I just will throw a couple sandbags on it and call it good. So complying or complaining, we'll talk about the ASTM standard. Again, this is a whole course we'll talk about, in detail, but what I'm challenging you to do is make a difference in the industry, look out for your business, and be the best. Market safety to clients, and I want you to experience successful growth and become a better inflatable company so that safety isn't just a word, it is the true goal. Risk management is going to be the process that we're going to all employ to influence insurance rates. Maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, everybody comes to me, hey, can you get me a better insurance rate? I hope I can. But that's a process, and that's all of us pulling together and demonstrating that we can do things in a different way that's going to make a difference. So, So remember, sometimes our customers are their own worst enemies out there. How many customers ask you to do, let's just call it what it is, dumb shit? Raise your hand. Yes, lots. Because they don't understand. They don't understand that you shouldn't really put this on the driveway when you've got nice green grass within 20 feet of where you want to have your party. They don't understand, you know, not to set up over power lines and, you know, the dangers that possess. They don't understand that, you know, if when you set it up, I hope your rental agreement says they shouldn't be moving it, because they don't understand how to reinstall it and do whichever. Question for you, when you set something up at a client's party, we're supposed to provide operator training to our employees, right? Owner operators, that's us, that's our title. Operator attendants are the people that are attending the game. We're supposed to provide training to the people that are supervising and either installing or operating the game. That's two different things, but how many people provide training to their employees? Probably pretty much all of us, I think. How many people document that training on the document that we call the training document, that if we had an issue that we would be able to produce that document and put it in front of whoever's requesting it? Maybe about half the room. I mean, even if you're the employee and you're the owner, start the process now so you can scale up your business and be able to grow. And when people are hired on, part-time or not, they are actually held to the same process that you created to keep yourself accountable. So now, you're providing that rental to somebody that's going to use that event. Who is now the operator attendant? If you're not going to have somebody there supervising and running the bounce house.
Whoever rented.
The renter. How many people provide training to the renter in lieu of having a staff member there? Lots of us. All right, here's the thing. How many people have a training document that states that you've provided that training to the client? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6, 7, 8. And do you have a signature on it?
Yep.
You guys are on the right track. You're following along. Documentation is huge, and if it didn't get documented, it didn't happen. So be sure you're making documentation of everything that happens, because I guarantee if you were called into a suit, they're going to say, hey, did you provide training to Susie Bounce House renter? And she's going to say no. And you're going to say, I sat there and told you like for 10 minutes that, you know, how to do this, how to do that, how to do whatever. And she's going to, you know, cry foul and say, never happened, never provided training, I don't know what I'm doing, this person's supposed to be a professional, but they didn't show me anything, and I'm just upset now because whatever thing happened, and they didn't show me anything. Unless you can produce a document that shows that they signed, that makes things real. So, we developed a risk management program through researching industry associations and resources provided by IOA. We created a program to comply with the ASTM F2374 standard. That whole thing outlines what we're supposed to be doing, and we provide it to you and show you. Compliance with some state regulations. We've got, I think, 2 states here, Oklahoma, and where did we say the other one was?
Pennsylvania.
Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Actually, there's like 26 states that have regulation. We're preparing you that if Georgia would decide that, hey, we want to have oversight to regulate the inflatable industry, you're going to be able to be in compliance from day one. And we want to influence those issues too, so that it's not unfair, and it's not unreasonable, and it's enforceable if they're going to decide to do it. Those are the 3 things that I see with regulation that are problems a lot. If they're unfair, unreasonable, and not enforceable with other people that choose to not do it. When somebody is compliant and then they take the money from that company but don't enforce it to people that are fly-by-night operators, that's a problem. And that's one of the things we are advocates for to support your business to go there. So, risk management essential procedures, where we at time-wise here. We're doing well, 12:13. And I think I'm half an hour yet. Is that where I am?
At
12:30? Okay, so 15 minutes. Fast forward. Risk management essential procedures, you want to post the rules at the entrance of the attraction. Now, the manufacturer should probably be helping you with this, because are the safety rules that are required by a manufacturer to be on the game, does that satisfy that requirement for you to be in compliance with safety standards? Yes or no?
It should.
It should. It should. And many times it does. There's a checklist, and if the manufacturer has done a good job and is compliant with ASTM standards for manufacturing, it should. It'll be there. So we talked about following checklists for accuracy and accountability. You want to pass this down to an employee. How do you audit the performance of your employees if you don't know what's going on? So we had a 3-part form when I was operating. A lot of people have Google Forms now as well. If you want to do it electronically, you can create that document and have it done electronically. We had a 3-part NCR form. 1 copy went to the renter, 1 went to the risk management manager within our company, and then the other 1 stayed with the actual contract. So a lot of times when something's going to happen or an issue is going to be brought up, it's going to be 2 or 3 years down the road, and you won't know about it immediately. If you have a rental on Friday, they're not going to cry foul on Monday and say, I've got a busted ankle or whatnot. You got 3 years to do that, and they're going to hope you lost all of that information that you're supposed to be providing, and you didn't keep it, and you're going to get a notice 2 or 3 years later, and then they're going to say, hey, you know, we need to deal with this. You're going to get an attorney's letter, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't even remember that job. So, you know, those are important things for documentation, keeping track of your documents. One of the things that I offer to you, if you're using ERS or DCN or IO, I worked for IO for a while. IO is a big supporter of IOA. Is you can electronically take pictures of your setups, upload them, I believe, to ERS and DCN, or ERS and IO both have that capability. You can also, you know, upload them documents and save it with that file. So it really cuts down on the clutter and the paper retention that you would need to do in that same scenario. So, but you want to complete the forms for pre-opening inspection and maintenance program. You know, how many people have maintenance documents for your equipment? Good job, Aaron. Kinda, little bit, yeah, we're all kind of suspect on that. But, I mean, if you have a unit and it's 5 years old or 10 years old and it's involved in an accident, you mean to tell me that unit is 5 or 10 years old, but you never did anything to maintain it? Does that kind of pound a hole in the case of your defense? So whenever you do something, I mean, even if it's as simple as cleaning, you should document that and put it in the file with that unit and have the owner's manual and any supporting documents that you might have for that unit in a file that says, you know, Princess Combo, and then when you clean it, maintenance that, be a maintenance item. If you repaired stitching, it's a maintenance item. If you got a new blower, it's a maintenance. I'm looking at you, Danny, so. Some blowers, you know. There's big things coming to IOA too, so new blowers, I can't give you anything more than that. So, but anyways, you know, maintenance them items and keeping track of it is important. And yeah, I seen in here they had, you know, the green flag, and they explained it to me. I have a green flag for ready to go. Green is go. Red flag, I don't see any red flags. It's probably in the back room. It's dirty. It needs maintained and it needs cleaned. And then there's a white flag that something's wrong. I guess surrender. We need to fix it. There's something wrong with it. That's the process here. And then there's also blue flag, which blue is water and blue is wet. And we all know what happens when we put wet games away for their a couple weeks, and then we go to unroll it, and hopefully we're not in front of a customer because it starts to smell like toe jam. And if you got leaves in there, you got leaves print, on your vinyl. And if anybody puts a wet game away and keeps it away for a long period of time, you're just about destroying that game. So never store away wet games. But more importantly, I love these little gatherings to get together and discuss things and have the conversations that we need to have to make ourselves better and improve our business. That's the ongoing education, and I encourage it all the time to get together and network with your peers that are doing things in the right way. And I guarantee you the people that are here are doing things in the right way or want to be. The other ones are at home cooking chicken wings for the game tomorrow, and they're not worrying about what's going on today in their business to make themselves better. So continually audit your process and be aware. They just came out with ASTM F2374-24. There was an audit to the standard, or actually an update to the standard, very minimal, has to do with staking. And if you're worried about staking and you're concerned about what size stakes you should use, if you're doing outdoor events and wish to not use stakes, that standard is getting a lot tougher as far as conversations at the table to revise the standard. The tent rental industry behaves a little bit differently, and I believe a little bit more professionally than we do in the bounce house industry, because when somebody calls and says, I want to put a 30 by 40 tent up in the cement parking lot, do you have a pole tent that I could erect and have there for the weekend? What do you say, Chris Taylor?
Can I drill in your asphalt?
Can I drill in your asphalt? No. What did you say?
You ain't getting a pole tent.
Then I ain't getting a pole tent. He just said no. Good job, Chris Taylor. Because why?
Because it ain't gonna hold.
It ain't gonna hold. Something that big isn't gonna stay up. It'll probably stay up if you put some water barrels on it for maybe 15 minutes. Maybe from one side until you get the other side of the tent up, then it'll fall down on the other side, and then you'll just be chasing yourself around the tent, and it's never gonna work. But can you do it, Chris? I mean, if you really wanted to do it, could you do it? You could, but what do we gotta do to make it stay up? What do we gotta bring in to make it stay up? Concrete blocks. We gotta get enough weight to support that pole tent to be able to stand and withstand the weather and wind and stay up for as long as they want it. Block and roll is a good example, but I tell you, 50-pound sandbags aren't doing very much for sustaining or holding your bounce down in outdoor conditions. And let's face it, how many people got new sandbags? I mean, beginning of the season, how many people getting some sandbags? Sandbag covers and whatever. Aaron's got them, we all got them, right? And where do we go? Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or whatever we got around here, we get our sandbags, 50-pound sandbags, right? Is that what we do? And then we wrap them up with plastic, put duct tape around them, make them strong, and then we put them in the sandbag covers. Matt, do you have sandbag covers? Yes, sir. Are they on sale now? No, they're not. Oh, damn it.
Mine might be.
All right. November? You'll put them on sale at the IOA conference, right? There we go.
It's the jumpoffstore.com.
But let's face it, you put that 50-pound sandbag in the cover, and it looks nice and it's pretty cool, but and it's April or whatever, beginning of the season. How much did that sandbag weigh by June? $19.99, 19 pounds and 99 ounces, probably, something like that. So, but yeah, you start to lose. And how many people actually weigh your sandbags to know that they weigh 50 pounds in June after you already did them in April? Do you do that, Aaron?
We weigh them pretty frequently.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's a good risk management program to do and make sure that your sandbags are 50 pounds.
Mine have zippers and Velcro. You're not going to lose very much sand.
But you will lose sand, right? No? Okay. We got a design enhancement feature that is going to revolutionize the industry. No lost sandbag covers. Big and Bright has them on sale, and we'll look them up later. The Jump Off store, okay, I'm sorry. The Jump Off store as well. So, yes.
Contractor trash bags. We throw the sandbags in them.
Yeah, contractor trash bags. That's, I mean, anything you can do to minimize that. And if you guys truly do have, if the Jump Off store has revolutionized the industry with no leak sandbags, that's going to be cool. So but block and roll. You know, that's something you might want to look into because if the standards get a little bit more stringent, and sometimes you might just have to say, no, I can't provide the inflatables giant wave slide because we don't have enough weight to secure it. And where do you know if you have enough weight to secure your unit for outdoor use? Manual. If you don't have a manual, how do you know you are within the capacities to hold that unit down? You don't. It's on you. It's all on you at that point. If you don't have a manual and you don't know what the wind load capacity is supposed to be, what is the threshold for maximum wind speed that you got to discontinue use?
15 miles.
15 mile an hour. That is correct, 100% correct answer. If you don't have a manual, 15 miles per hour is the maximum sustained wind load that you can operate in. Now, that is actually from a CPC bulletin as well, Consumer Product Safety Commission. The guys that kind of overlook a higher level of this industry, and we really don't want them nosing around with what's going on, because you know, they'll come down a little harder than anybody else would as well. So, but you can use that block and roll and look into it. Just have it on your radar.
I wanted to ask you, kind of up front, I did a little bit of research, and there was 16,000 injuries reported in the inflatable industry.
I think it was 17,693.
Okay, there was about 100,000 injuries reported for trampolines, which we many times move out of a yard when we set up an inflatable. There was about 200,000 for bikes, and there was over 300,000 for Little League football. My question to you is that it seems to me that a lot of the problem that we have in the industry is the fact that there's a news article of an inflatable flying through the air and the perception that we're out there killing children. What can we do to kind of sway that as opposed to continue to feed into this narrative that we have this industry that's the scariest thing out there?
Perception and performance. Do what it is we need to do to operate more safely. And when we do that, I don't encourage you to do it for nothing or do it for free. We have the rules on the front of the game by the manufacturer. But what logo does those rules have on it? Manufacturer's logo. You can do supplemental rules and put those rules with your logo on it and market your safety with what you're supposed to be doing. Market your image with being a safe operator. More so, how do we prevent those injuries? How many injuries is too many? One. Really, I mean, depending on how serious the injury is, I mean, I'll disagree a little bit because, I mean, things are going to happen, but as long as we're not causing serious injuries, I think we'll be left alone. We won't be scrutinized as much. I tell you, the trampoline park industry, I just did an inspection on a trampoline park at our NARSO seminar just 2 weeks ago. If you don't have any less than $250,000, that's just your insurance premium for a year. No, that's before you open the door. That industry is really, really in hot water. You know, we're in hot water as well, and that's why we started this initiative with representing your business and starting an association to influence these things and really do create a better culture of safety, because how many is too many? One or two. You know, how do we have a better perception? We educate a patron, we perform better, and we get results. and that's a 3 to 5 year process. If anything happens and you come to, give us a call at the office at IOA and say, hey, I need your help, I can't do anything for you immediately. It's a 2 or 3 year process of mounting the efforts and organizing the industry to behave better, have a better culture of safety, and sustain ourselves for the future so we don't get up to a $250,000 premium before we can ever operate. So, make sense?
It does, but again, I have a friend who owns a skydiving school.
Yeah.
His insurance is 1/3 of the cost of my insurance, and it is all perception.
How many kids go skydiving?
I understand that.
Less
How
than
many?
18.
There were 5 people who died of skydiving in Georgia within the last 10 years. There are 0 that died in Georgia from bounce houses in the last same period of time.
Yeah.
And again, I understand what you're saying, and I am all about documentation. I used to be a police officer. 100% documentation, 100%. I'm also about safety, but I think the perception that surrounds this industry is that we are some kind of scary kid killer, and that comes from news articles of bounce houses flying away, and it just doesn't help us at all.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and that's why we're trying to improve the perception and support you in those efforts. Apples to oranges with skydiving and bounce round, though. I have 150 skydives, and I have a Class B skydiving license. When I make my decision to go out there and get in that plane and do what I do and jump out, which I don't do anymore, it was a lot of fun, but I am an adult, and because we're dealing with kids, that intensifies things significantly, and that's why the insurance companies are concerned about it, because you can't take away a kid's right that's 3 years old. They have until they're 18 years old to bring suit against you, because a parent can't absolve liability for their child until they emancipate and they're 18 years old. That's the intricacies of insurance and the fact that we live in the good old United States of America that's just sometimes ugly when it comes to liability and those sort of things. So that's an Alex Posio presentation about insurance, because you know what? I don't like insurance guys that much either, but I like my insurance guy and I encourage you to get a good agent, because you will get non-renewed if you stay in the business for probably 10, 20, 30 years. You'll get non-renewed. You'll need to go to somebody else. And if you have a good agent, they're going to have 2 or 3 or 4, and there's actually probably only 5 carriers in the industry right now that'll actually cover you. So if one says take a hike, you need somebody to help you find somebody else to cover your business. So get a good insurance agent that represents you, not just one program that has 2 or 3 programs that they could potentially place you with for better rates and a better risk. So I like my insurance guys, but I initially didn't like my insurance guy because I thought they were taking advantage of me and just charging all this money. And it's not them. They're just carrying a paper to you and saying this is what the underwriter is saying. So, another good guy to have in your back pocket is your banker. Be financed well and have somebody that you can get some good money from so you can expand and make your business grow. The other people that I don't like necessarily are credit card companies that, make a lot of money off of transactions to use your money. Again, it's a perception. We all try to work together in a good world. But one thing I'll leave you with marketing safety here, because we're at 12:32 now. ASTM F2374-22, that's just the standard. X is the appendix. It used to be in the actual standard itself. It got moved back to the appendix as recommendations. But how many people go to the swimming pool, and what do the lifeguards have to get your attention when you're misbehaving?
Whistle.
A whistle. How many people went to a sporting event, whether it's basketball, wrestling, football, whatever? What does the referee have to get your attention? How many people do country clubs or schools, churches, whatnot, and rent inflatables and actually maybe provide an attendant to that event? Lots of you. What do you use to get the attention of people when they're misbehaving? A whistle? Good. I challenge you here now too, if you can go to a promo page for promotional products, source a whistle, put your logo on it. And now, what are you supposed to do when you provide a backyard rental? What do you do? What do you provide to that homeowner? Training. You provide them documentation. You provide them training, but then you give them a pamphlet that has your information on it, which is supposed to have the Beaufort scale, step-by-step instructions of what they're supposed to do to operate it, and you know the capacities and things are already on the game, so you're covered there. But then you give them a whistle and say, hey, if somebody's not misbehaving, if somebody is misbehaving, you're in charge of supervising this game. Here's a whistle. Keep it, because we don't want any slobber back with the game. Keep your own slobber. But that whistle then becomes a toy for the kids. And we remember our best birthday party or our worst birthday party, right? Hopefully that's the best birthday party, and every time they blow that whistle, you know, call it Pavlov's dog if you want to. They remember that, hey, I had an awesome birthday party with XYZ events, and I'm gonna call them again. That's grassroots marketing. That's not Google, that's not SEO, that's not all the high-tech stuff. That's just providing something that they're gonna remember the experience with, and doing what we need to do with compliance for ASTM, but benefiting with it marketing-wise so that your company is perceived better. And we just talked about that perception. What do we need to do to be better and get left alone? We need to perform, but we just need to improve that perception. I agree with your frustration because I was there. So think about risk management as you know, closing a circle of accountability. We didn't go through all of these things, but you know, really that's your business in the middle. How can you circle things around you to push back the resistance of people coming to take what you worked night and day and hard on to develop? You know, you want to start with posting the rules, and this all starts with manuals, but posting the rules, completing your pre-opening inspection, having everything documented with checklists that show and demonstrate that everything has been done, nothing was been left out, and you're 100% positive you did everything that you needed to comply with to be in compliance with the standard and operate that thing safe. And not only did you ensure that your employee did it, you documented it. Training and maintenance, continuing education for training, you know, going to a seminar every couple years, maybe every year, and talking about what it is we need to do to improve our operations for safety. And then all that in appraisals. You know, every time, we had a risk management manager in our company, they reviewed all the documents coming back from every rental, retained the copy that needed to be with the contract, and made sure all those things were being done. And we developed, in my opinion, a pretty good culture of safety because everybody understood it and everybody was measured against that checklist and documentation to make sure they were in compliance. And we talk safety every day because it was part of the setup process. So that's the most important part. Create a culture of safety within your company. We'll do that as an industry. And like I said, you know, that's why Inflatable Operators Association was. We're not here to sell you education. We're not here to, you know, make a profit off it. We're a nonprofit. Trust me, we're zero budget on a lot of things, but we need to get that money up so we can sustain it and stuff as well. And it's $2.99 for a year. That's $25 a month, and we need your support. So I invite you to come to the IOA conference that's coming up, and that's about everything that I do have. There is some flyers out there, or are some flyers out there that you can get for the conference.
From a lot of the inflatables and new designs, and for those of you who have purchased from us at an earlier date to now, I'm sure you've seen that too, on the quality, the design, overall, and everything. So I'll start off. Let me go ahead and on the next slide. Jump Orange. We originally have a location in LA. Maybe some of you have gone, maybe some of you have not. We just recently opened a location in Orlando, Florida. To be more specific, Castleberry, Florida. We're 30 minutes away from the airport, 30 minutes away from pretty much anything. That's Florida. And that's our location right here. To give you, another picture of our location, that's our 19-foot Dolphin water slide. That's the inside of our showroom floor. If you guys would like to go any of these days, we have our games, we have a combo. I'm actually working on doing a combo that will set up nicely without having the roof tiles and all that stuff. But you'll be able to see our games, combos. If any of you ever want or are going to Orlando, give us a call, and if you want to see a specific inflatable, let us know and we can set that up. It's a lot easier for us if you're able to book it, and when you get there, we'll just have it set up. You guys can check it out. You don't necessarily need to buy it, but you can just, hey, I'm there, we're there, we can set it up for you.
Will you take us for lunch?
Yeah, there's a Wawa next door. I got you. And if you go before the 15th, or maybe that's already too late, they had a special, the coffee, the $1 coffee. I got you on that. So, that's the cool thing about where we are. There's food places, there's a Wawa. I actually like Wawa. We don't have Wawas on the West Coast, so that's actually pretty cool. Will call hours, we have it right here, Monday through Friday. If any of you ever want to set up or pick up on Saturdays, I can accommodate that as well. We're pretty much, Wawa and the Simmer on Skateways right behind us, so it's pretty easy to locate. This is a combo that we have outside. It's one of the newer combos, the Oasis. I'm not sure how many of you here may have one of our Oasis water slides, either the 19-footer, the 25, or the 15-footer, but that happens to be one of our better units. So we ended up coming up with a combo with the 7-foot platform height, the bigger pool. For those of you who have that item, you know that the pool is extra large. It fits what, maybe 10 people or more lay down on it or something, so it's a pretty big one. We have the Gummy Bear, for those of you who attended IAPA and saw the Gummy Bear water slide. We have it in the combo, we have the Monster, we have a bunch of units, right? And this one's wet dry with the inflatable splash pad. And I don't know if you guys took a look, but we also have the new cleaning system right next to it. After this, I can kind of walk you through it today, tomorrow, whichever the case may be. These are some of our newer water slides for 2025. Usually Jump Orange really didn't get into the dual lane game until probably 2 years. We're pretty new to it, so we started coming out with more. This is our only triple lane 20-footer. Before you ask, you're looking close to 600 pounds on the triple lane. We have a dual lane, and this one's also a dual lane with individual pool. So we have a little bit of everything, but we don't go higher than 20 feet on dual lanes. The tallest slide that we have is 25 feet, and that's a single lane. Weight-wise, you're looking like around 550. This is one of our newer obstacle courses. Some of you may be familiar with our Level Up collection. We have a 15, a combo, a 19, a dual lane. We added this obstacle course, which is a U-shaped obstacle course, wet dry, with a deep pool that will fill up with water. For those of you who attended IAPA, we actually showcased our pool party U-shaped obstacle on the inside of our booth. You go through here, comes back around, up, and the deep pool. And this is a detachable pool as well. This is how it looks like when you attach our other piece to the obstacle. It's over 60 feet long, right? So same thing, they'll go up, around, come all the way out, and that's where they'll up. I have the pool party and I have the electric on this style. And then any questions, let me know. And this is just another picture so you can check that one out. This is one of our newer water slides, the Monster Dragon. We have a bunch of, we're big on doing collections, really, really big on it. So we have this one, we have it in a 25, 19, 15 combo and obstacle course. That's the obstacle course right there. I'm the one that sets these things up, by the way, so if you have any questions regarding folding and things like that, just let me know. This is one of our newer combos. By show of hands, if possible, how many of you here have the Titanium, the Melting Arctic, the Purplish, Midnight, Fiesta? So this one's pretty much the new addition to it. This one is a pretty solid inflatable collection-wise. Super lightweight, one person can do it. Inflatable pool. So this was a pretty solid when it comes to renting the equipment out. The only difference between this one and the other ones, it only has one basketball hoop inside. I think the other ones have the pop-ups. That's another one. This is our Oasis. We have it with the individual pools, but we also have it as a dual lane with a big pool, and a 19-footer and a 15-footer. These are the ones. So I figured, talking to a lot of you, that a lot of you like the neutral theme, but also some of you like the bells and whistles. So we have both. This is right here, the Midnight Wraparound 19-foot water slide. The cool thing about this one is they go up through the right side, come down the left, and they only exit through the right-hand side. So it's perfect for you, those of you who do big events, or in general, any type of event. This one is a wet dry with an inflatable pool. And that's the 15-foot version of our tropical one. That's kind of like how it looks on the inside right there. These, for those of you who are familiar, are just, for you to get familiar with, the purplish and the melting Arctic. Platform height, it's about 5 feet. So my old coworker Ashley, she's about 5 feet. So that kind of gives you a reference on how tall those platforms are. This is just another picture I get from customers, right? It was cleaning day for this guy. Just wanted to share this one with you. He has the titanium bounce house in perfectly 19 and the electric 19-footer as well. One of our dual lanes, right? The stairs are in the center. I think some of you may have it, I believe. So this one's pretty cool. Big pool. And again, we have a huge collection on this one. Dual lane, single lanes, combos, and the obstacle courses. I think some of you may have seen our YouTube channel. We tend to be pretty active. So for those of you who don't know, we have the YouTube channel. We have some how-to videos, how to roll, we have a lot of podcasts as well. So if you're ever in the Orlando area and would like to be on the podcast, let us know. We would love to have you. And we're actually working also on doing it in Spanish, for those of you that may want a Spanish version. Gem Club, right? So for Gem Club, it's $6.95, the cost. That gives you 1 year free terminal shipping. What I'll do for this event and for probably the remainder of the week, make sure that you guys double check the emails before you leave. That way I can send you an email, and instead of $6.95, I'll do $5.95 before the end of next week. For anyone that's attending. That is exclusively for only people that are attending here. So it excludes the people who are watching. Only the people who are attending. And that gives you free terminal shipping for 1 full year. And this is our sale right here. 30% off anything that we have currently in stock. You guys are more than welcome to do pickups. If you're near Orlando or want to drive to Orlando or LA, you're more than welcome to. That's completely fine. And that's for our games, bounce houses, combos, obstacle courses, anything that you might be interested that's in stock, feel free to let me know. Before I open it up to questions, I will be doing a raffle and we'll get that going. Any questions? Anything? No? Pretty straightforward? Cool. Let's do the raffle. I try to make it as fair as possible, so I don't want no misunderstandings, all right? It's pretty straightforward. Your name, if your name was on the list, your name is here, all right? So, yeah. Kevin, we've already been through this. All right. You know what, let's have Kevin go outside actually. All right, here we go.
What are we after now?
So I did one name. I'm doing multiple raffles. But once someone wins, I'll take the name out to be fair for everybody else.
Because I don't know it. Is there a name on it? I bought their tickets. Are they going to be on the list?
You should be. Should be. All right, let's go.
What's this for?
We're doing the large bag and the care kit. I think when you guys were seeing Steven's info, So this is what, all right, stand up. What is it? All right, let's have him come up.
Go Birds!
If they win again, they're, you know, obviously they don't get anything. Let me have you just stand right there, please. Let's see. All right, here we go again. Christopher Taylor?
That's not correct.
Rig.
Let's go Taylor.
Let me have you guys stand there. Let's go again. Scott Hall? No?
What's going on?
All right, here we go again.
Oh, so close.
Isaac Jones.
Spit it again?
No? Isaac? No? All right, so do we all agree? Move forward? All right. Michael? Michael? There you go.
Something's going on with that section over there.
All right, here we go. Donald?
What?
Pick somebody on this side.
Hey, it's a system, all right? I have no idea. Let's have you guys move this way. Let's have you guys move that way. That might be easier. Michael, did he win already, or is there multiple Michaels here? Going once.
He was on this side.
There you go. No? Michael? Move. Move forward. And sound good? Then have you come up here, just type your name, whichever's name. I leave it up to you, that way there's no responsibility on me. You do Kevin N, is that good? Yeah, let's do Kevin N. Yeah. All right, here we go. Alvin?
Hey, all right.
So Matt has I am all-time Matt. All right. So you guys Okay, so, all right. I was gonna do a thing, a sappy thing.
Do it. I like things.
So I met Matt. Actually, no. You remember? I never ever remember. I'm really bad at that. Anyways, I met Matt somehow, and we kind of bonded over charity water. So it's my favorite charity. It's the charity that like invented 100%. So if you give any money to charity water, every dollar you give them goes to the cause because they have a board of rich people like Mark Zuckerberg and Gary Vaynerchuk that they pay them money every year that goes to operations. So every donation goes to building wells. And so we kind of struck up a little bit of a back and forth. And then he wanted to work with me, so he flew me out to Dallas. I got to see his warehouse and everything. And so started doing a little bit of this, doing a little bit of that with Big and Bright. And then Matt had the brilliant idea that we should start a Christmas light distribution business. So we co-founded that together. And then also we just got Joe in. So Joe's also a partner in Let's Get Lit Supply. So I say all of that to say whatever Matt has to say here in his keynote speech, I 100% co-sign with it. You know that because I have a business I co-own with him. So, all right, Matt, give it up one more time for Matt.
So we just posted, I posted something about charity water because we run a campaign called Quality Water Slides for Quality Water Supply, and 3% of all of our sales go to charity water. And over the last 20 months, we've been able to get 136,000. It's actually a little bit more than that because we owe some money right now, but they want it in big chunks, so I haven't got to give it to them yet. So it'll be over 140,000. So super excited about that. I believe in charity water, and I believe in that. So who's ready for 30 more minutes of me talking to you about Well, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna give you about 2 seconds, and then I actually have a speech that I want to give to you. So if you don't know who I am, pull out your phone right now, go to Facebook, okay, and search Big and Bright, one word, Inflatables, one word, and Matt. I don't mean to be braggadocious, but because of Joe, my wonderful partner Joe, brother-in-law Joe, we have the best media in the entire business by a mile. And we're funny sometimes, so it will be entertaining. Again, find me Facebook, Big and Bright, one word, Inflatables, one word, Matt. About 4 or 5 days ago, I posted something like a fake lawyer commercial where if it ain't Big and Bright, it ain't worth the fight. So you guys gotta go check that one out. It's pretty good. Anybody see that one? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So 2 seconds on Inflatables. If you go outside, you'll see ours. We've never had a knock on quality. People think our quality is fantastic, right, Nick? But it's heavy, and if you're not built like Nick, which is a tank, sometimes people have been a little bit frustrated, okay? We figured it out. You can go look at those, and you can see our weights are essentially the same as everybody else in the market now, lower than some, but we're right down there. We've cut 15 to 20% off last year, but we did not cut anything on quality. It's the small things. Our D-rings are still stainless steel. Our zippers are still YKK. The zippers are still big and everywhere that you need them to be. We just tailored our slides a little bit. They're just a little bit smaller. So, for example, that 22-foot slide, if you go out and look at it today, look at it versus all the other ones there. The other one out there, the other big one is also 22 foot, so you can compare the two. I'll let you do that. Our slide deck is a foot taller. You'll see that. So go take a look at those things and you'll see. We still use the same high quality woven vinyl. We still provide the tarp system. Go look at those, you'll see the tarp system. We still have all the flaps and all the things. So no quality was cut. We were able to reduce everything 15 to 20%. The perfect example is last year's Rippling Brush, 22 foot was 630 pounds. This year it's 530 pounds. We cut an entire 100 pounds off the slide. So that reputation will be gone very soon. We're going to keep making videos until you're tired of hearing it, but we have cut the weight out of our slides. So erase that from your memory, make it go away. Unless you want to buy a clearance 2024 model, then it's heavy. Work out, go buy it, but you'll get it cheap, so it'll work out. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to get serious. So I'm here to actually give a presentation, not to talk about inflatables. That's all I was doing. By the way, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, so if you do want to talk inflatables, text me today, please, or message me in any form of way to message, okay? Take out a piece of paper, all right? Or pull out your phone if you want to write it down. I'm going to challenge you to write some things down here, okay, for a second. I'm not going to ask you to stand up and share them. I'm not going to ask you to even talk about them with your spouse or the person that you brought today unless you feel like it. So this is for you, so be honest because it's only going to hurt you if you're not honest, okay? So on this piece of paper, write down tasks or activities that stress you out or make you nervous, things that give you butterflies in your stomach, things that you tend to push off, things that you tend to procrastinate about, things that you fear doing, business related, let's keep this a business seminar. Maybe it's things like making high-level sales calls. Maybe it's approaching large event opportunities. Maybe it's dealing with or correcting employees. Maybe it's just hiring employees in general. I don't know what these things are that make you nervous, but things make you nervous, okay? So write some of those down. Before I really jump in and start my presentation, I'm gonna be vulnerable and honest with you for a minute. I'm 45 years old, and over the course of my life, I've consistently dealt with stress. Luca leaving was a really bad moment for me, and if you guys are anywhere near Dallas, or it's just been bad, okay? But I've consistently dealt with stress, anxiety, fear, and mild depression many, many times. And I have allowed it on more times than I can count to slow me down, or to hold me back, or to keep me from reaching my full potential. So, I'm being vulnerable with you guys today about this because it has been crippling to me, and I don't want it to be crippling to you, but I bet you a bunch of you in this room, if you were honest with yourself, would say, these things, fear, stress, anxiety, and potentially depression, have crippled you or slowed you down from your full potential, right? So I think it's important. Now, here's the disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just another entrepreneur just like you. We're not going to talk about anything serious today like medications or significant treatments. If you suffer, I promise, if you suffer from any of these on a high level where they're truly crippling, especially the depression one, go get help. You are not alone. Find somebody that can help you, a therapist, a doctor, something. You have to. It's not 1960 anymore. We all know that this is a true medical condition, and this medical condition could keep you from living a successful, happy life and being successful in business, so go take care of it. Okay, serious enough for a minute? You all ready to move forward? Okay, one day, when I was running my rental business, everything went wrong. Who's been there? Okay? And I remember that evening, I was out to dinner with my wife, and I was just complaining. I was upset, I was not happy, I was very, very frustrated, okay? And I guess I was being loud enough or something because the waiter came up to me, and he looked at me and he said, man, you're really worked up, right? And I was not in a great mood. I looked at him and I was like, what, dude? I just looked at him sternly. And he said, man, when I feel that way, I looked down at this tattoo, and he had this tattoo on his arm, and it was some sort of weird Sanskrit language. And I was just like, okay. And he goes on to say, this means there is no tiger. And when I get all worked up and start blowing things out of proportion, I look down at this and I realize that there is no tiger, that almost everything that I face today is not life-threatening, okay? And it's a challenge, it's a thing that can be managed. And I remind myself that there's no tiger lurking around the corner ready to take my life or to kill me, okay? Now, this isn't a true story. To be honest with you, I heard it told a little bit different on TikTok, and it motivated me, got me excited. But I wanted to tell it to you in a first-person account because I think that you would relate to it better, and you might remember a little bit better. But also, because it's the name of my presentation, there is no tiger. And so throughout this presentation, many times I'm going to refer back to this saying, and when I do, what I want you to remember is, there's no tiger lurking around the corner ready to take your life. Whatever this particular thing is that making you stressed or nervous, these things that you wrote down, I would venture to bet that 98% of all of them are manageable, are doable, can be done, and are not going to take your life, kill you, make you, you don't need to be that overwhelmed with it. So, You're gonna hear "There is no tiger" a bunch of times. Now, picture this. Let's use your imaginations for a minute. Will you please play along with me? Let's pretend that your heart rate is beating at 160 beats per minute. You're sweating profusely. Your face is turning red, and all your muscles are tightening up. Your whole body is reacting to something. Okay? Can you picture this? Now, imagine it's the middle of the night and you just woke up from a dead sleep with all these symptoms. What are you thinking?
Nightmare.
What are you thinking? Okay? You're probably thinking, I'm gonna die. I need to get to the hospital. I'm having a heart attack. If this was tonight, you'd say, screw Matt, there's a tiger here. And in that case, your life would truly be in danger, wouldn't it? I mean, this is a serious situation, okay? But let's change it just a little bit. Let's say that the symptoms are the same. Your heart's still beating at the same 160 beats per minute. You're sweating profusely, your face is turning red, and your muscles are tightening up. But instead of waking up in the middle of the night, now you're turning the final corner on a 3-mile run. You're about to cross the finish line. You're about to get to the end. Suddenly, those symptoms, those signals that your body are giving you, they're not a crisis anymore. They're progress. They're your body working exactly as it should be, right? You can see the difference, right? Your body sends the same signals. It's how you interpret them. The difference is your situation. So, I know those symptoms are extreme, but the point is, your body tries to communicate to you with symptoms or signals, but if you don't know the context, often you interpret your body's own signals to you. And that's exactly what happens to me in business. Before like key events, like sales calls, business meetings, talking in front of people, I start to have fear, anxiety. I start to have nerves. And those signals are coming through my body. But they're not signals that something's wrong. Okay? They're just signals that something is happening, that I'm about to step into something important for myself or for my business. And because I'm about to step into something that's important, my body is sending these signals to me. And so if you can learn to recognize those feelings for what they are, not crisis, but actually a call to action, you can stop seeing these signals of fear and anxiety as a reason to stop and start seeing them as a call to action that will fuel you forward. So, back in high school, I was the quarterback of my high school team. This is not an actual shot. Okay. And I don't say that to brag, by the way. I do know that you're looking at me saying, you're 5'9", man, and you're not very big. I do know that, and I wasn't big back then either. I was fairly quick, and I could definitely throw the ball, but I was small. But I'm in Texas, and in Texas, you might have heard high school football is kind of a big deal. Kind of a really big deal. So, being the quarterback of your high school team is kind of a big deal. And it's kind of stress-inducing as well. So, throughout the day on Fridays during the team meetings, classes, and then walkthroughs, my nerves would build. I'd have intense butterflies. I'd have to use the restroom a lot of times. And by the time we got to stretching on the field, this nervous energy was absolutely peaking. And then when the national anthem would play, it would be ridiculous, it would just be ridiculously going on. It was not comfortable. But I'm the leader, right? So as the leader, I have to be tough. I have to stand there as, nothing is going wrong. But internally, I'm freaking out. It's a challenge, right? And maybe you've been in that situation, and maybe it's not been that story, but it's some other story. I hope that relates to somebody. But here's the thing. Once the game began, something would shift. Calling that first play in the huddle would begin to settle me down, get me focused. But the thing that always got me ready to play was taking my very first hit on the field. And it didn't matter whether I just got shoved around or knocked down or a full-on sack or blown up, it didn't matter. That first hit would change all my nervous energy and focus and adrenaline, and it would help me just focus on the game. And from that minute, I was locked in, ready to play my first game. But I had to get that first hit out of the way. So, Drew Brees once said, sorry, I scrolled too far. Drew Brees once said, nervousness before a game is a good thing because it means you care. He talked about that nervous energy as not something to be feared, but something to be harnessed. You see, he's a high performer, and high performers have that mindset. So I'm going to repeat it again. A high performer is going to have the mindset that nervous energy isn't something to be feared, it's something to be harnessed. Now, think about making a big sales call. For me at least, that same buildup happens. I have those pre-call nerves, I have those butterflies as I prepare. Maybe for you, it is for me, I'll be sitting in the parking lot, trying to psych myself up before walking into a business. Maybe you're just staring at a phone about to dial a prospect. Your body knows that you're about to do something important, and it also knows that the outcome isn't completely certain. So for those reasons, you're probably going to show signs of stress and nervousness. Even though there is no tiger, you are in no danger. Your body can't tell the difference, but your mind can. So you have to think about this situation and change the perspective and say, this nervous energy is a good thing that I can harness. There is no tiger. And you see, that moment, sitting in the car, that moment about the dialing, is a breaking point. It's the moment that separates the low performers from the high performers. You see, the low performers will stare at that phone, but they'll never hit dial. They'll say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into never. That low performer is going to sit in the car and come up with a reason or an excuse or something else that needs to get done today. And then they drive over there and they do that other thing, but they don't get out of the car and they don't go make that sales call. And you see, in this breaking point moment, it is the difference between a low performer and a high performer. The low performer is going to shut down. It's going to allow the nervous energy to freeze them. But you have to remind yourself there isn't a tiger. I got myself confused for a half second, but I'm back on track. I apologize. Your body is walking like it's walking into a life or death situation. But let's be real. There's no tiger lurking behind the door waiting to pounce on you. This is not a survival moment. You're just going in to have a conversation with a human being. Just a human being. All of you are human beings. You're not actually that scary. But your body can tell you otherwise. Also, high performers, on the other hand, the ones who win in business, often they have the same fears and anxieties and the same symptoms. I would like to think, based on my track record at both Fastenal and then building these companies, that I tend to be a high performer. But I can attest that even as a high performer, I get all of these symptoms. But high performers know, I know, that this nervousness, this fear, this anxiety is an illusion. It's not real. I know that if I can just take the first step, if I can just introduce myself, if I can just shake somebody's hand and start talking to them, say that first line, that the energy is going to shift, that my nervousness is going to transform into focus, just like taking that first hit on the football field. And once I'm engaged, I'm in the game. And you can't win the game if you're not in the game. So you got to get in the game, give yourself a chance to win. So, hopefully I've motivated you in some sort of way, but let's make it practical. How can we work through these sort of things? Let's actually talk about a few skill sets that maybe you can do it. If this is meaningful to you in any way, maybe write some of these things down. First one that I want to talk about is have a pre-call routine. Just like athletes have pre-call rituals, successful people should have pre-call routines. Whether it's listening to a pump-up song in the truck, researching your opportunity fully, visualizing your success, or rehearsing key talking points, have a routine that will help shift your mindset into action. Over the years, I've done many of these things. I've absolutely played loud music in the car and sang along to try to calm some nervous energy while I'm about to go up to make a sales call. I guess I didn't really talk about this, but I was a sales manager at Fastenal for 17 years, over 16 locations and 90 employees, and I made thousands of sales calls. So it doesn't ever really go away. So you gotta get used to it. So I've played the loud music. I've done a lot of research. I've even Facebook stalked people, you know, like if I'm about to have a big call with you, like I want to see what's on your Facebook. Maybe there's something we can relate to, and that will be that icebreaker or whatnot. That's all part of me getting ready to go into that call. But my absolute favorite pregame ritual is talking to myself. I will pretend to have a conversation with the customer. I will ask myself all the hard questions I think that they're going to ask me. I will think of any objection that they might have, and I will come up with an answer, and I will say it out loud while I'm driving down the road. I've been known to even record it on my phone and play it back to myself. And then I edit it. I do it a different way. I do it a different way until I'm very, very comfortable. I've done this exact speech for myself probably 12 times since I wrote it the last 2 weeks because I wanted to be comfortable, and I've made many, many changes to it. I normally like to just get up and talk, but because it's such a sensitive subject, I really am trying to stay on task this time. So, whatever that is for you, whatever works for you, come up with a pregame ritual that can help you move into action. The next one is, number 2, is set micro commitments and micro goals for yourself. They're a little bit different, and I'm going to break them down. Instead of thinking about the entire sales call, or in my case today, like the entire speech, break it down into small, manageable steps. Just commit to getting out of the car, then just commit to walking up to the front door, then commit to shaking their hand and saying the first sentence. If you can commit to yourself to get that far, momentum will take you the rest of the way. I promise you, if you've gotten into the building and shaken their hand and you're talking to them, you're probably not going to go squealing running out the door. You're probably going to finish it, okay? All right, micro goals, on the other hand, are a little bit different. This is something you should take the time to write down during your pre-call routine. This is where you set a few goals for the call that aren't like land the entire business. Because let's be honest, if your goal for every single call is to land all the business, you're going to be disappointed a lot of times. Often, it's more realistic to set a couple like micro goals along the way. Obviously, the final goal is to land the business, but it's different things. So let me just name a few of these, what these could be. Maybe the micro goal is to learn who the real contact is. How often have you thought you were walking in to talk to the decision maker, and it turns out that wasn't the decision maker? So maybe micro goal is just to make sure I have the right contact, and if not, to find out who that is. Maybe another micro goal could be just to learn about the business as a whole. First off, you need to know who the decision maker is. Second, who does the booking, the scheduling, all the things? Do I need to be on an approved vendor list? If so, how do I get on that approved vendor list? How many events do they have a year? Is there a specific piece of equipment that I either have or I don't have that I need to land this business moving forward? I know you needed tents for a recent one, right? Is there particular insurance requirements that are needed? Do I have them? Do I need to get them? And maybe any other sort of requirements that I might need. If you walked out of a sales call knowing all those things that you didn't prior know, that's a pretty successful call, right? Another micro goal might be just to get a solid reason to come back and do another in-person call. Personally, I don't believe a follow-up email or a phone call is any sort of significant advance. If they say, oh, email me, that's a pretty good deflection. But if you say, next Tuesday at 9 a.m., I'm coming back to do this, to bring you that, to show you this, to give you an example, that is a much better thing. So if you meet these micro goals, your call can be successful with the caveat that you do something with it. If you go in there and you learn all this information and you go back and you never follow up, you didn't achieve anything. So you gotta do something with it. Number 3, reframing the fear. As we've established, the symptoms of nervousness or excitement that you produce in your body seem the same. Fear and excitement seem the same. You have the same nervous energy. It depends on how you label it. So, reframe the fear. Stop telling yourself, I'm scared. Ooh, I'm not ready. I need to slow down. I need to stall. I need to stop. Stop telling yourself that. It's so easy to be looking for excuses not to do things. Instead, go, ooh, I'm feeling those butterflies today. I must have something important in my business coming up. I better be getting psyched. I better be getting ready. I'm ready, let's go. Start telling yourself, there's no tiger, let's go. You see, if you reframe that fear from something that's going to cripple you into something that's going to cause you to act, if you start realizing that it's just energy, but it's exciting, it's going to move you forward and propel you on towards the win instead of stalling you out. All right, number 4. Have a first hit mentality. I talked about it in football, I'm bringing it back. Just like in football, that nervous energy for me settled after I took that first hit. And I think that happens for a lot of people. So, go into every sales call, every meeting, looking for that first hit moment. Is it a quick laugh? Is it a handshake? Is it a moment of connection from that thing you figured out on Facebook? Whatever that first hit is that takes your nervous energy, settles you, and moves you into the call. Start remembering what that is. Okay? Maybe make that a micro goal. Get to the point of that first hit moment. Start recording what those are so that now that you're making calls, you go, okay, if I can just get to about minute 4, when I tell this joke, then I'm going to be in and it's all going to calm down. Or, whatever it is. And then you can psych yourself up to make it to that point. Maybe write those down, like I said, and then that gives you a micro goal to check off early into a sales call. The last of these 5 practical things I think you can do is to have a mindset and a paradigm shift. Teach yourself, tell yourself, I'm here to help, I'm not here to sell. Okay? Many people hesitate because they feel like they're bothering the customer. They don't want to be that pushy telemarketer or that door-to-door salesperson or that used car salesman. They've always hated that person and they don't want to do it, so you tell yourself, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson, okay? You own a business, you're a salesperson, okay? But if you can teach yourself, if you can switch your mindset that you're not there to take, you're there to give, it becomes a lot easier because now you're here to give them something, not to just take their time. And if you truly believe that, the confidence will come naturally. Remember this, if you're talking to the right person, they already have an event to plan, they just need your help to make it spectacular. If you're talking to the right person, they already have an event to plan, they just need your help to make it spectacular. So my final thought, wrapping this up. While in modern American life, there's almost never a serious, life-threatening event looming around the corner, your body is still wired for survival from way back. And when it senses uncertainty, it tries to convince you that there is danger ahead, and it tries to make you be cautious and slow down. This used to be super important because there really was tigers lurking behind things, and you can die from all sorts of stuff. But it's just not that important anymore. And it actually can become a problem these days. So, that's why when you feel the rush of nerves before a big moment, you have to remind yourself there is no tiger. You're not fighting for your life, but you are fighting for your future. And if you let that fear stop you from taking that first step, you're never going to reach your full potential. So we can teach you all the skills today. These guys can come and they can teach you skills all day. If you don't remember this message right here, those skills are not going to happen because you're going to let your nervousness, your anxiety, your stress stop you. So, if you push through though, if you take that first step, if you make that call, if you introduce yourself and you get that first hit out of the way, your nerves will fade, the adrenaline will kick in, and you will perform at your best. So the next time you feel those pre-call nerves, don't fight them. More importantly, don't let them shut you down. Recognize them for what you are. Your body telling you it's time for action. Because just like in football, once you step in and take that first hit, you're in the game. And that's when good things happen. When you're in a game, you have the chance to win. And you all want to win or you wouldn't be here today. So I challenge you to get in the game. So I had you write these things down earlier. One last challenge. And then after I give you this challenge, if this meant anything to anybody, and they'd be willing to kind of chime in and share, do I have a minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good on time. If this meant anything to anybody, or they have a time where this happened and they overcame, if anybody's willing to share, I would love to pass the mic around. I was vulnerable. I think if somebody else might be too, it could be powerful, okay? But I challenge you, go back Monday, not next week or the week after, Monday, and do one of the things on your list that make you nervous. With that in mind, that there is no tiger. And the reason I say Monday, if it has to be Tuesday, it has to be Tuesday. But the reason I say Monday, it's because if you let too long go by, you're not gonna have this feeling anymore, and it's gonna fade. So you gotta get in there while you're thinking about it, feeling it, you're excited from all the speakers today, all the things that people are gonna say, you have all the emotion of seeing this building and what your business could be. So you gotta take action Monday. You gotta take action Monday. Anybody willing to share anything? All right.
Yeah, you ready? Okay. Everybody give Austin a round of applause.
Thank you, Austin.
So, I don't own an inflatable business. I actually own a home inspection business. Thursday, before we came here, I had an introduction and a team meeting at a real estate office. It was about 50 people. I let it absolutely cripple me. So I let it absolutely cripple me. But my goal is to actually take the opportunity that I had to be in front of those people and reach back out to some of those folks and let that.
Awesome, thank you so much. If this was just for you, buddy, then it was worth it. Thank you. Again, I had every right to stand up here and sell inflatables for 30 minutes. Nick told me that's what I should do.
I literally did.
So, I didn't. And I didn't because this is something I'm 45, this is something I've dealt with my entire life. And I've had to continue to fight this to get where I am today. And many of you are a lot younger than me, some of you are older than me, but the bottom line is you're wanting to go somewhere and maybe you're fighting this battle. You're not alone, you're not the only one. Successful people can fight it and you can do it. Tim, thank you, Tim. You're not Tim.
Kevin.
His business partner is Tim. Sorry, this is Kevin.
My Christmas light business partner.
Yes, his Christmas light business partner is Tim. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to quickly say first that because he didn't sell Big and Bright inflatable, like he didn't talk about it too much. I have not bought any inflatables from him. My main concern has always been the weight, because I know my workers complain about it, so I just didn't want to get anything heavy. But now that it's lighter, I'm definitely entertaining it. But what I do buy is Christmas lights from him and Nick, and he is one of the most phenomenal customer service people I've ever met. Me and Tim, even though he's on the other side of the US and we have people that we could get in Connecticut or whatever, we still buy from him just because of his customer service, his personality. I bring up a problem, he's answering even if it's late at night. I'm surprised he's been answering it. I'm mainly expecting him to answer the next day, but he's already on top of it and chasing down FedEx to deliver something, for next day air. So in terms of that, I think he's a phenomenal person to purchase from. If you're looking for inflatables, definitely consider that. And I do appreciate the speech that you did, because honestly, I thought it was going to be about sales, but I appreciate it because, I suffer from the whole sales thing, and I really wanted, one of the things I want to do is reach out to big corporations and make those tough sales, conversations. This, inspires me. Maybe Tuesday, not Monday, because I'm still traveling.
You gotta fly down Tuesday.
To do that, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
since we're kissing Matt's butt, I'm gonna kiss it a little bit more too.
Come on, Justin.
So, one thing I want to say, Julio, take notes. When I first, no, this is cool. When I first talked to Matt when he first started, he's like, I want to sell inflatables. I'm like, oh, we have another Corona bounce, or what's going on here? For anybody who knows, that company burned a lot of people. But Matt, you're weary. We're all weary when new people come in the industry. And
I noticed that.
yeah. So, because we really care about everybody in this room. We don't want scams to go on. But one of the things I gave for advice, and even Nick can touch on this too, he said the same thing, is what's really, like you want to stand out as an inflatable company, what really is lacking is marketing materials of the inflatables. So I'm saying, because he's talking about doing, hiring Joe, his brother-in-law, which, give a round of applause for Joe. He's the best video guy in the industry.
Hey, listen. If you don't know, like, you need to know. Like, you need to see Joe's stuff. His work.
So if you haven't bought a unit from Big and Bright, when you buy a unit, you get all of the, you get drone footage, you get still photos, you get a promo of each unit you have, so you can use that and sell. My goal this year is to put no static images on any of my social media and only use video. So I'm probably going to be switching out some units just so I don't have to take pictures and video, because like I said, Joe, I have a YouTube channel, Nick has a YouTube channel, Joe makes us both look like we could do better.
And yet they have so many more followers.
So I just really want to say that, like, Julio, get video and pictures of every one of your units and give them out.
Justin, enough, sit down.
Yeah. But seriously, Matt did it first.
All right, unless anybody just has anything, I just want to thank you for my time. And I do really want to tomorrow. I had Super Bowl plans, sorry. Be here tomorrow. These two inflatables have not been sold yet. If you haven't seen them, please go see them. I would like them to be gone by the end of the day, and we can sell other things as well.
What's the prices?
So these I'm going to do $35 or $34.95 because it sounds better. On the tall one, will come with a 2 horsepower blower, and then so that's the 22-foot teal rippling rush. And last one in stock, we won't have them for a long time, for a couple months at least. And then the 18-foot rippling rush next to it, which looks tiny next to it.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Good vibes. Yes, good vibes. I'm sorry. We'll do, what did I say, $29.95 with a 1.5 horsepower blower.
$29.95. Do I have $29.95? Can I get them?
I think you said $19.95.
No. This isn't.
Kevin is paying $1,000 towards the slide.
They're both water slides. But we do have a Good Vibes combo. One of the Robert has 2 in his inventory. So.
Right on. Okay. All right. Thank you. Everybody give Matt a huge round of applause. You still have a hot mic on your shirt, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna switch out the iPads. This one's about to die, so I gotta get back to our other iPad. So we're gonna take a break for, I'm gonna tell you guys 5 minutes,